Hello. Welcome, welcome. It's midnight. I'm Liz. This is Therese, who's got the lovely pom pom. And we're with our friends Caro and Amy and Anne and Tina from Aleneth Yarn and Fiber. So if any of you guys have seen her yarn, she's the lovely lady who dyes it. So welcome. And you should not have done that. Thank you.
I should have,
by the way.
You deserve it.
Here for knit night and also to
Yes.
celebrate Liz's birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yay! Happy birthday.
And this is our Knit Night colorway dyed by Tina. So go get some.
Who
And there's
gets
also Mayhem, which is our pink colorway.
I'm
And it's
actually-
awesome too.
Oh.
Ooh, that's pretty. I don't have one within reach. It's on the other side of the room.
It's
So
beautiful.
sorry.
Mine's in the other room.
She also has some new colorways out that are really, really fun.
Yes.
I like your retro 80s feel you got going.
Thank you. So I have
Thanks,
to
everybody.
say, the pink that I'm doing for the new pink that I'm doing for you to match the knit night yarn. I couldn't think of a name for it, and then I thought, I don't really care, Margaret. Instead of-
Oh, nice.
That's perfect.
I love it.
Yeah, that's my new thing.
It's a good response for anything. I don't really care, Margaret.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So welcome to Monday, people. It's been an exciting week in the world, especially in our country. Lots
Another
going on.
exciting week.
Beautiful.
Lots
All
going
the
on.
Donald
It's-
Trump Jr. just floated out the idea of doing letters of marque to get rid of cartel boats, and I'm crying. It's so beautiful.
Oh, it's been winning and winning and winning.
And it's January 47th.
Evidently,
Only been a week in
the
office.
Colombia has new thoughts on deportations
I
since
like
they
that they
backed down.
offered their plane. Yeah, they were like, "Hey, you can use our planes. You know, let's work together. Please take the tariffs away, please."
Good.
Yeah, this tariff
Yeah.
this tariff thing is working really great for us, and we haven't had to actually institute any yet. So that's pretty cool.
I think they did revoke a couple of visas just to, make sure that they know they were serious.
Well, they probably needed to be revoked anyway.
I love when the president did his little whatever diatribe, and he says about how, well, Venezuela is the center of the world. And I'm like, well, then why are all your people coming here?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
aren't you fleeing to your country?
Well, and have you seen the records of some of these people that they've been gathering up to send back? I mean, horrific crimes. Like anyone who's defending those people to stay in the country has a screw loose. I'm sorry.
I like how he was like, "We're not going to take them back because of your inhumane treatment." It's like, you mean because we put them in prison for crimes? Like,
But they've
Yeah.
been vetted, Liz. It's fine.
But have they though? Really? Because if Biden was doing it, he wasn't in his right mind. So I heard he might secretly have pardoned himself, and nobody knows yet that he just didn't announce it.
I bet you anything
So-
he did and he forgot.
Probably not that they're
weird.
going to get anyone to convict him, because he'll just come across as this feeble old man.
Which, to be fair, he is.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, he is, but no excuse. I'm sorry.
I know, but I mean, at this point, he's not cognizant of his actions. So,
No. So we're lucky to have Amy here because she got caught in the terrible snow.
It was so
Oh
fun.
no!
And if there was still snow, she'd be outside in it right now instead of
There's a
podcasting with
snowball
us.
in my freezer. Don't make me go get it.
Did you enjoy the
Probably
snow?
I probably annoyed everyone on every social media app there was, but I didn't care because it was
fun.
glorious.
It was fun living it through with you.
Yeah, I kept telling David, I was like, oh, look, Amy's posted a picture.
I know.
Another
mean,
picture
look,
of snow.
Total inches of snow did you get?
In my backyard I got almost 7 inches, and New Orleans got between 10 and 12,
Wow.
which is like
Unheard
New
of.
Orleans had
For
the last
real.
time New Orleans had 10 inches of snow was like 1895.
I think our friend Lorelai said they had snow on Pensacola Beach too.
Yeah, actually, like on the beach of Gulf Shores,
Mhm.
Pensacola, up to where the waves come in, was actual snow. I'm like, that would have been really cool to see. She lives a little like inland, like not on the beach. So I don't think they could get out to go to the beach to see it. But she even got snow, which, because we've gotten like ice slush snow, like a handful of times, like every 10 years ish, we get like 1.5 or 2 inches of snow. But it's never pretty fluffy snow, and it never like falls like it's like, oh, it's snowing, look, take a picture, and then it's over. It doesn't like last. It literally snowed from like 5 a.m. to literally sunset, like all day.
What did it look like on the bottle trees?
Yeah. And the mediums.
The medians were very pretty, covered in snow, and she did protect her plants. But yeah, it was. I mean, I have never in my life seen actual, real fluffy, big snowflakes that like would actually blow in the wind. Like it. Yeah, I've never in my life seen that.
Have your pets recovered yet from the indignity of having to go out in the snow?
Lucy ended up liking it because she's a dog. But and the cats figured it out. Like Minnie went out the front door and we went for a walk, and it was probably about like 4 or 5 inches by that point. And we're starting to take our walk, and she's out the front yard digging a little hole going to the bathroom. So I'm like, hey, she figured it out.
Yay.
Well,
But some
funny.
people's dogs were like my friend's dog's a little tiny dog, and he's like trying to get through the snow, and it's like up to his neck, and he's like, I don't know where to go. It was just nice because like, even though the inauguration, I mean, I was happy about the inauguration. That was great. But all of our entire social media feeds, news, everything was just excitement about the snow and pictures and people, everybody smiling and happy and laughing, and nobody could go anywhere. Nobody could get to work. It was like a hurricane without losing power.
Wow.
So that was great because, normally it's miserable because you're stuck at home and you can't go anywhere, but your house might blow away and you have no power. So that kind of sucks. So, I mean, people were like Tuesday it snowed all day. So we went out a couple times, and that's when I learned it's really not as fun out in it when it's snowing. It's when it stops snowing that it's fun. And I kept like, because people are always like, don't you ever want to go to like Colorado and go skiing? I'm like, you've met me, right? I trip over air. So no, I'm not going to go skiing. However, I've always wanted to like be in the ski lodge and look out the pretty window with a nice roaring fire and an adult beverage and just watch it snow.
You want the
So it's, like,
romantic part of it.
literally pretty much all I did Tuesday, except for know people on social media. I tried to knit, I tried to read, I tried to do stuff, and I just kept going, oh, it's so pretty. Look how pretty it is. Like literally, I woke up I sent some of y'all a video of me like freaking out. As soon as it was appropriate enough to wake up my kids, I was like, do you want to build a snowman? Like I was just annoying the piss out of them, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. And my husband hates the cold, but even he liked it. And wool mittens for the win because my hands were fine and I could pick up because man, I was not prepared for touching it without the mittens. I was like, whoa, this is totally different than the little 1/2 inch that we've gotten before. I was like, that stuff's cold. But like I couldn't feel it with the mittens. And they're like, we can't touch anything. It's too cold. I was like, hold on. And I run back inside and give them my DK socks. And so Tina's yarn and Lynn's yarn and Molly's yarn and everybody's yarn kept everybody's hands safe in the snowpocalypse, Louisiana.
Well, that just means that instead of socks that you're not going to wear 99% of the year, you should make a couple pair of gloves.
Should make some mittens and gloves. Yes.
Yeah, the next time, you'll
almost
be able to.
I almost took that pair of mittens because they're a smidge too long, and I almost said, oh, I probably need to just like cut them off and finish it like a fingerless because that's really what I need when it's cold because we do get cold. We get freezing temperatures. We just don't snow. Glad I didn't because that was my snowball making mittens and my sort of semi snowman making, which is really hard to make a snowman. That's way harder than I knew. that was totally hard. I was like, it became snow. What'd you call it, Tina? Slimer?
Yeah, it looked like Slimer.
It depends on the kind of snow you had. Like certain snow leads better towards snowman than
Tuesday. It was still too powder. Like it was, the nice, pretty powdery snow. Then Wednesday it got more compact.
Yeah,
but that was still a lot of work. But I did make a snow angel, and I wish I'd have done more creative stuff because I saw some really creative ones. Like I was impressed with our creativity down here. People came up with some stuff. And of course, all the neighbors were like, you had the redneck on the ATV pulling kids on a inflatable pool
Mhm.
tube, and
Well, duh. That sounds like
and
something.
like the only
So-
thing that I didn't have, I couldn't sled anywhere because you literally couldn't drive anywhere, and
You're
we
at
don't
sea
have
level
hills. We
anyway.
don't have, yeah, we don't have hills here unless you're by the levee. So, but there were people who lived by the levee or by interstate, like on like if interstate went over, and like there's like a people were like going up there and trying to slide, but there were people like playing hockey down Canal Street, and it was great. It was awesome.
When I lived in New Jersey, we had a nor'easter and it was really bad. And part of the town I lived on was on a river, and the river flooded the banks and flooded downtown. So the
Mm,
downtown sports fields were a lake.
mm.
And there were people who were in kayaks and stuff going downtown and in the lake of the sports fields, which was,
That
know.
we're familiar with.
Yeah.
That's not unusual. And that was some of the other funny ones I saw was people got out their pirogues and used that as a sled, and then this guy took out his airboat and he used his airboat to bring his neighbor some gumbo. I was like, man, Louisiana is gonna Louisiana all over this. Like, I was
Hey, you do what you do.
like that was
So.
awesome. Like, no, like y'all kept saying bread and milk, bread and milk. No, bread and milk was
Gumbo.
fine. There
No.
was no chicken broth. There was no chicken broth in the store.
Of course not. Everyone's making
Everybody's
gumbo.
making gumbo.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl. So
So it was
So-
awesome. I'll never see it again unless I travel. So
you
glad
never know.
Enjoyed it.
Climate change, according to the Dems. So
yeah. I mean, what can Trump not do? He made it snow in Louisiana. I mean,
Really a miracle order.
speaking of, has anyone seen Melania's official portrait?
Yes.
The black and white
Yeah.
one where she looks like a badass.
Oh, it's fierce.
Her very don't mess with me look. Very Trump
You know,
Apprentice season 1.
I have
Um,
not
You know,
seen it.
I knew that Trump coming back would be so much better than his word because that's what he was last time. But Melania is bringing the heat all by herself.
Well,
yeah.
I think it because Barron's graduated. Barron's in college now,
Yeah, he's
so
an
she doesn't
adult
have to
now.
feel like she has to, be there and protect him. And now she feels like she can actually, go out and defend her husband, who she clearly knows is in danger every time he walks out the door from the wackadoodles. So, but I thought
there
her
was only
portrait
an
looked really good.
attempted- An attempted pew pew on his well-being. Like there's nothing to worry about.
I'll have to see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I saw one
Minecraft Land.
activist posted about how someone should finish the job and not just graze his ear. And hey, it's okay
I saw
because the next president will probably pardon you anyway.
Yeah,
Like-
in Minecraft Land.
No, not
Yeah.
really.
And it's like, really, you're putting that out there.
Yeah, I was hoping somebody would go pay a visit to her.
I'm sure they did because
I should hope so.
'cause
She did not
I-
mean it in Minecraft world.
no, I
she did
I
not
see
follow
that he
Minecraft world rules.
I
no.
see he fired like the top 10 people in the Secret Service. So
That
can't
was gonna
imagine
happen.
why.
That was gonna happen.
Yeah, can't imagine why.
Yeah,
You
like
know.
that one story about like the one FBI agent who left her station because she had to go and like do the milking, right? Like that blew my mind because, and the reason it did was because like from an operational standpoint, like if that's something that you're doing, they usually say, okay, don't do desk work, right? Not go
Right,
out into the
right.
field.
Right.
So when I read that, I was kind of like, was this like some like power lady that was just like, I'm gonna go and you're not gonna stop me even if I gotta do this? Or were they kind of like, we're gonna send you out there because like nobody else wants to go? Like I really want to know like what happened in the office
Right.
because like in the military, like when you have a baby, right? You have like the whole month off that follows that, and then they're going to ask you how you're going to like feed the baby afterwards, and if that's something that you're doing, then they're kind of like, okay, we can't like literally send you out, like we just can't, like you physically
Right.
would have to come back in like within like more often than we like.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Common sense.
I watched an interview with the wife of the guy who died in the assassination attempt, and she said, what still blows their mind is that the guy got off 9 shots before anyone returned fire.
Right.
And she's like, I still don't understand what the hell was going on. Like,
Right.
But that Minecraft
You know-
server is wild, man. It's wild.
and I guess Trump called her every single day for 2 weeks
Aw.
to check on them. So I thought that was really cool.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you saw they I think it was his fireman's coat that they did in the inauguration parade.
Yes, I
Mhm.
did see that. That was nice. Now I
Yeah.
did notice that with the snow, it completely like the news has said nothing about the terrorist attack in New Orleans. So has anybody else heard anything else on that, or did it just
No. What do
quietly
you-
go
It's
away?
it's just gone, completely gone away. And
What happened in Minecraft land?
Allegedly, some man drove his car down Bourbon at 3 a.m. and killed like 15 people.
well,
Yep.
But
I'm
now we don't talk
sure.
about it, and we don't say his name, and we don't know why. And
I'm sure they will have security bollards out for the Super Bowl. I mean, it's
okay,
Well,
you would think anyway.
you would think, but
You shouldn't have let that person on the server, Amy. You should have been like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, he drove around a cop car, but still. Yeah.
Oh, wait, didn't that happen like on the first?
On the first,
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
I did hear.
let's
I
let
thought
them
you were like, this is another one, and I was like,
No,
did you
no,
have
no,
a
no,
say?
no.
Hey, what's going on?
No, but I'm saying it's like
less
nothing,
than a
like,
month, and it's like
nothing on
total
local
silence.
news about it.
I heard in Minecraft land that this was a troubled individual that had certain flags in their background.
He
But
did,
the thing,
yes.
but the thing that kind of got me is when they originally talked about this person is that they said that they were devout Catholic that had been divorced 2 times, and I was like, okay, fuck, stop, because
You lost me.
yeah, those 2 things like that.
Mhm.
No,
Mhm.
Does with this Pope. 'Cause, the one who was complaining about immigration raids and yet upped the immigration proof walls in the Vatican.
Mhm.
yeah, he's
They,
like peeking over the walls of his.
yeah, but so
Walls are good.
I like mine because my neighbors are really loud and there's
I
people
think-
out there all the time, and I just don't want to see them.
yeah, I think part of the reason we don't hear about your fella down there is because once they kind of like started digging in and seeing all the flags that people ignored, they're
Mhm.
like, we're just gonna like sweep this away. Because
Yup.
the thing that always gets me is like individuals like that, like there's always all these warning flags that pop up, kind of like what happens at like schools before somebody brings a pew-pew, right?
Mhm.
And nobody does anything about it, or they're like, it's gonna be somebody else's problem until it's
Mhm.
their problem, and they're kind of like, why did nobody help me? And it's so weird because it's one of those situations where it's like, if you say something, people are like, well, what's wrong with you? It's like, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just afraid for my life right now, and I would like to talk to somebody about it.
Yeah, the words on the radar don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Lone wolves are all
Unless you're a
lone wolves.
pro-life activist, then
Right.
then
Yeah.
it's important you be put in jail.
Yeah,
But,
speaking of those anti-pro-life activists, the woman who got arrested after 50 some years, they found out that she was the one who had killed the baby in the airport in Arizona. They tracked her down through DNA genealogy. She had
Oh.
evidently drowned the baby, had the baby in a hotel, drowned it, and then tossed it in the trash in the airport, and it had been found in the airport, but they didn't know who it was because this was in the 80s. Well, they caught her and they arrested her, and pro-abortion organizations paid for her bail
Oh my god!
because drowning a baby at birth is the same as an abortion basically to them.
Oh
So
my God.
yeah,
Because
The
if
old
she
Chinese
could have had
method.
access to an abortion, she could have killed it in the clinic. Duh.
yeah, that was pretty much their thought, and I was just like, wow. She
What's
could
it
have just
like
left
to
the
be
baby.
enlightened?
She was not home, out of state. She could have just left the baby at a hospital and flown home, and nobody would have known the difference.
I'll
But-
never forget in Arizona when they made a law where you, like, if you had a kid that you were kind of like, there's no way I can take care of this kid, you could just kind of take it to like a hospital, right? And so I thought I didn't know it was going to happen, but what ended up happening is somebody literally dropped off a 2-year-old.
Oh my
No,
god!
someone in one of the
There
states
are
dropped off like
age
4
limits
kids.
to it.
Yeah.
Some lady in one state dropped off like 4 kids, and a couple of them were preteens.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's not how that works.
I was
Yeah,
like, that's
that's-
not quite what the law
That's
means.
not
I'm
how the
pretty
safe
sure.
haven baby laws are for babies, not
Yeah.
toddlers and preschoolers. Which we are finally
Yeah.
getting a safe haven baby box. I'm very excited about that.
Yay.
So,
Yay. Well, here it's like they've, the kids are taught in school that they can drop off a baby at any fire station.
Right, and that is the
Hospital
thing
or
all
anything.
over. I think every state has the laws, but it
Yeah.
is still, you still have to walk up and hand someone your baby.
Right.
So it's
Mhm.
still a level of
It's not like kittens in a cardboard box on the side of the road. Bring
right,
it home.
right.
They'd get treated better. Hey Tara, welcome.
Hey, happy birthday, Liz.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And Tina's here, and I'm very excited to get my new stitch markers from her because she just started with those. They're adorable.
Yeah, they're fun to make.
Anne doesn't think so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Anne's just shaking her head no.
So, like, how many have you made right now, Anne? Like 55, 50?
I think
Okay,
it's more the time frame and the quantity.
Leaving tomorrow.
She probably hasn't done her homework either on any of the classes, I bet. She's gonna be doing that while someone else is driving, probably. Well,
Oh, I did
am I
all that
wrong?
homework
First
on
of all,
Sunday.
I
Am I
have
wrong?
done most of my homework.
You have? Because 2 days ago you said you hadn't.
She's
Well,
been busy.
I've improved since then.
Okay.
That was 2 days ago. This is
Leveled
now.
up.
Man, I just realized, like, we're
I
all-
did a little bit of it just while we were sitting here. So how about that?
Except
How
for
about
Tara, we're all wearing like black, like it's a funeral for Liz's birthday.
Oh, I'm
Oh, it's
Oh, there you go.
No, I'm wearing black.
No, it's a funeral to
I've
my
got black
previous
under my
age.
poncho.
yeah,
It's a funeral
Under
to my
my
previous
hoodie.
age.
Okay,
dark
there you go.
gray? Like I'm slightly out.
Oh,
of
Tom.
Like,
Yeah, she did. She called me out, Tomsky. I was wrong. So, what's everybody making right now? What are they working on besides stitch markers and
I'm
whatnot?
want
trying
to
to
alarm
make progress
you.
on a sock that I'm supposed to have done for the grand opening of the local yarn store. That's Saturday.
Oh.
Is that Swamp Yayas? Is that what
Yes.
it's called?
Yeah. And I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Knit faster.
She was like,
Just-
I'll just take one. I don't need the whole pair.
Just go by Denise's. I'm sure she's got a finished sock or two lying around.
Yeah, but Kat gave me the yarn to use.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's
You
different.
can buy
Yeah.
the yarn in her shop. So
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's different.
Yes,
I'm
I'm very
guessing-
excited to go check that out.
I'm
so.
guessing Carol might be making a shawl, maybe.
Listen, you don't fucking know me. Yes, I am.
That's great.
And it's a very pretty. Oh, that's huge.
That is
beautiful.
pretty.
I can't do
Like a-
small shawls. Like I know, like some people like to do like the little shoulder things. Like I want a fucking cape so I can like walk around like Mount Magnificent and like wave that fucker around.
You want
I
the
like
one.
big
You want the
shawls
one
and I
like I always say
cannot
Anne wants, where she wants to stand at the window wistfully holding her cup of tea, looking out at the moors. Like, that's what she needs.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, my man, come back to the war. That's the shawl I want.
Yeah.
Do you want
You
this
want to
one?
flank it.
I'll give it to you. Do you want it?
I mean, it's
Therese,
beautiful.
what are you doing?
What am I doing?
Did you figure out your sleeve problem?
Yes. I've finally gotten back to knitting. I didn't knit for a week because the crud came back.
No, no crud.
Yeah, crud. It's been since December 7th now.
That's like
Ugh.
Denise. She couldn't get rid of it either.
I'm tired of it. Now David has it. yeah.
Sharing
So-
is caring.
I pulled out my Calliope because I was watching some podcasts and people were making sweaters, and I said, I want to make sweater. So I pulled out my Calliope and I started my sleeve, and it was giant, and that's why I had stopped it because I couldn't figure out why. So I knit it, and then I did the decreases, and then I started. You have to do like 9 inches of ribbing, and it was
God.
still too big. You only decrease down to 66 stitches. Well, that's too big for a
That's the
sleeve.
Espas Tricot one, right?
Yes.
She
Oh.
always wears her really loose, her sleeves.
Yeah, but on the pattern and on everybody else's on the pattern pages, it looks fine. And so I went down. You do it on 7, so I went down to size 4s, and it was still too big. So I ripped it out again. That was fun. And so now
I mean, you could have just kept going and have a goiter like Denise did that time. So
Not the goiter.
No goiters.
Did she ever fix
No.
it?
Nope.
No.
Man, even after Joe shamed her.
Yeah, I know. I thought Joe was going to need a goiter just to match, but
I thought so. But yeah.
I think Denise is she's a what do you
Denise's
call
give
her?
a shit has left
Right.
left the building a long
Yeah.
time ago.
That's what I think. Yeah.
yeah, but of all the things to fix, that's not hard, you know.
Think of all the yarn she'll reclaim once it's normal size.
It's a design element.
Right.
She can make a hat to match.
So you fixed
anyway,
it, Therese?
So I started again, and this time you used to do a decrease every 6 rows. Well, now I'm doing a decrease every two decreases. 2 stitches every 3
Mhm.
rows.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that'll
that makes
get me
more
down
sense.
to 44 stitches or approximately.
Yeah, because 6
And
to
that's
6
more
is like,
normal for a
That's
sleeve.
like a hat for your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
your-
So 44 is more forearm sized, allegedly.
well,
Allegedly.
unless you have size inclusive, whatever. So.
What color yarn are you using? I don't even remember. Ooh, pretty.
Yeah, you can kind of see. It's called it's
Very good.
some wine claret or something.
Hmm.
It's a wine color. So
Is
that's what
y'all's-
I'm doing.
Is y'all's sweater make along done?
At the end, 3 more days, 4 more
Yeah.
days, however many more days are left this month.
Gotcha. Not that I'm
So-
participating. I was just clarifying for viewers.
This is not for that.
Well, I knew you weren't participating, but
Have you gotten a lot of them or
yeah, there's several people who've done 3 or 4 sweaters.
what?
Yeah,
Cool.
so that's very exciting.
I can't get through a
Um,
damn sleeve.
I can't get through a sock.
Yeah, but Amy, you've been making blankets right and left.
Yeah, I know.
So, Miss
do
Tina,
have
what
to-
are you working on?
Before Tina shares, I have to confess that I cheated on Tina.
Yeah, there's mayhem sucks.
Those are so pretty.
Ooh, I
Your
love those
stripes-
colors.
It's just not fair. She did the king cake, and it's like all this pretty little spiraling. Mine looks like cake on the bottom and icing on the top. I was like, my fat old feet messed up the spiral.
No, I think it looks really cool though, because then that way it's more authentic.
It's
You know,
totally
you-
on purpose. I'm just kidding. I totally meant to do that.
I am.
I like that.
I'm trying to get these done by the end of the month in 3 or 4 days because I have this goal of doing 25 pairs of socks this year. So I finished my king cake socks. Okay, so whoa, that's one
You
pair
did.
done. But
That
in
was
order
2,
to get
right?
these-
That was your
well,
second
this
one. then.
is number 2. So I have to get at least 2 pairs done a month, and then 1 month I have to get 3 pairs done. So I'm like, shit. I don't want to be behind. I have to.
DK,
Yeah,
hurry.
wait.
you did the ones with the
Yes.
blue toes. Wasn't that one?
DK weight.
Oh no, that was from last year. That was cast off at midnight on.
That still
Yeah.
counts.
No, it was cast off New Year's Eve. It does not count.
What time on New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're trying to help you.
Because no
Shut
matter
up,
what
man.
time it was, and no matter what time it was for you, it was probably the day after for Joe. So you could just say you were knitting it on Joe time.
That's true. I might have to pull that out of my pocket at the end of the year and be like, nope, I'm not behind.
I thought you didn't finish them till after New Year's Day. So
No, I was very OCD about it. I was like, no, these have to be cast off by midnight because I'm casting off the old year. Goodbye 2024. Goodbye socks. I'm done.
oh, that's right. I remember you said that. Yeah. I still
bummer.
say use my technicality. I mean, have at it.
Yeah, it was January 1st in Britain, therefore it counts.
There you go.
It's tomorrow sometime, somewhere.
Always.
so
it's
I
tomorrow
cheated on
somewhere
Tina.
right now.
Sorry.
Oh, they're pretty.
They are pretty. I love that pop of color.
I know.
beautiful.
So
That's
Molly
really-
Klein is destashing for some reason. She did say she is not closing because people were like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! Why are we getting rid of yarn here?" So she said she's clearing for new things. So I don't know what the new things are, but I snagged these for $17.99 a scan. I'm sorry, you got to do that when you got to do that. So now that
I
means I
hear
have to
ya.
go. Now that means I have to go put them in my stupid spreadsheet that I made myself do.
Not if you knit them first, and then you don't have to put them in the spreadsheet.
Okay, because that's gonna happen.
Just
You know me
saying.
not at all.
God, I'm old enough to remember when that's the regular price of yarn.
I know.
Ugh.
I remember when that was the price of jeans.
Jeans are so expensive. I was
And
watching
bras.
somebody like they were like, let's make a jean rug. And I was like, a jean rug, right?
Zero.
And so they basically, it's like, I've lost some weight, so I'm going to take my old jeans and make a rug out of them. Well, guess what? She didn't have enough jeans. So she had to go to like the thrift store and buy like 10 more pairs of jeans, right?
Oh my
and I was
God.
like,
What is a jean rug?
And it ended up being more
It's-
than a jean, where you tie them and
yeah, it's like, it's basically you take like your jeans and you like turn it into like strips and like you weave it back and forth into like a rug, right?
Okay.
It looked really nice.
Like-
Don't get me wrong.
like a rag rug,
Yeah.
rag rug.
Oh.
It looked
Yeah, they're
nice,
not
but
even
yeah,
cheap
just,
at the thrift store. They're still
Yeah.
expensive at the thrift store too.
Yeah.
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 I was like, for that price, I could have just bought one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the project.
what
You
are-
just wait and like collect all the jeans of your family as they like tear them up or get holes
Yeah.
or
Yeah, like I like so yes, just like that because I told my husband I wanted to do that. And he's like, we're not going to the thrift store. It's like we're not, but we're gonna lose some fucking weight, right?
Not only that, you get everyone in your family. You just put a note out.
Right.
Hey, if you have jeans that you
Right.
can't wear anymore, send them to me.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Or
I
you
don't
find
know.
somebody with kids in a growth spurt.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if anyone else does this where it's like, oh, these need to be repaired, but I never will. And I know this about myself. So I could be like, here.
No, but I have a too fat for pile and they stay in my closet for a really long time. So I could probably donate those to you, Carol.
I would take them. I don't know what I'm gonna do at my jean rug. I'll probably be out at some point. Like that would be like such a weird talking point too. It's like I want to show you my rug that I made. Like I made it from jeans from all of my friends.
Say it's
My friends
designer.
all got too fat, so I got this rug.
It's literally the sisterhood of the traveling pants though.
Oh, it is
True.
Except
Oh,
we're not
Kathy.
wearing-
And it's a book club and it's a whole thing.
See, Anne, you're making Cassie do work.
I mean,
What are you working on, Miss Anne? Is that secret for your trip, or can you show?
this isn't secret. I am doing the I-cord edge for another sparrow cow. Look at that.
Oh,
That
that's
is so
pretty.
pretty.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, once I'm done, gonna stitch it together right there, and it'll be nice. I might finish it by the end of the show. I don't know. I-cord always
Oh.
takes forever though. But
Yeah, but it's pretty mindless though too.
Mhm.
You don't have to count really.
Yeah.
I might be-
That's very cool.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so I'm excited. And yeah, I have to quick get a gauge of this and write it down for the pattern before I give it away. So.
Tara, what are you doing?
I am working on my Spice Market blanket.
Ooh, I can't wait till you're done with that because that's
Oh,
so
wow.
pretty.
Beautiful.
That is
That's
cool.
gorgeous.
Very nice.
And then you can make one for Joe because she really wants one.
Yeah.
And Joe doesn't crochet.
I was gonna say,
You should learn.
yeah,
And
if
pay
she wants to wait 10
$200 to
years.
ship it to Australia.
I know. I know.
Then can you imagine if it got lost? Just death, ruin, misery.
It would
Despite
be an
the-
international incident.
Yeah. Despite the fact she's got crochet hooks in her many, many, many Notion pouches, that she's
Yeah.
narrowed down to one.
I'm not even entirely sure when I started. I think
Okay.
maybe 2019.
Oh,
It's
wow.
gorgeous.
It's not-
It's set in timeout for a while.
How much more do you
Yeah.
have to do on it?
I'm on part 7 and towards the end of part 7, and there's 10 parts.
Oh
That's
wow,
not too bad.
that's
No, it's not too bad because
Oh,
I counted
okay.
the number of rows, and I think maybe I have somewhere between 20 and 25 rounds left.
Huh.
Which isn't too bad.
no.
What size is it? Like, I mean, it looks big, but like, what's it going to be in the end? Like, full
Honestly, I don't
size?
know.
queen size?
No, it's not going to be queen size.
It's definitely more than a lap blanket, though.
Yeah, that's gorgeous though.
Yeah.
I love the colors. Very cool.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
Tara's very good at picking colors together. I'm always like, oh, what?
To be honest, I just used one of the color combinations that was in the pattern because I thought it was really pretty.
That works.
I mean,
That works. We've all done that before. Just not usually with Stephen West, but
No.
No, it was designed by a different gay man who is much better at colors.
well, I'm sure, according to the lefties, he's very privileged. So,
Yes, he is. That's why he got in trouble for calling this blanket the Spice Market. Because heaven forbid a Dutchman be inspired by designs in other parts of the world
take
and
her.
then name a
didn't
blanket Spice Market.
didn't the Dutch East India Company transport all the spices all around the world? Pretty sure. Back in the day.
Sounds familiar.
I don't know. All the offense is just
Yeah,
they're
still big into shipping.
yeah, like Amy made a point the other day in our other chat. How come the Chiefs still get to be called the Chiefs, but other teams have had to change their names,
Do that stupid choppy thing.
That's because
Oh, the
And the
tomahawk thing.
song. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, tell that
The
to
Indians
Alexis.
had to get rid of their name.
The Commanders, which is ridiculous.
I don't call them that.
Well, we know what you call them.
Indians are the Guardians. That's even.
And I
dumber.
need to trademark
I
that
know.
thing.
I know the Guardians. That's ridiculous too. I
Because
mean,
people started
sorry.
stealing my name.
Well,
Well,
it can't
it's a
be
good
called a
name.
spice market because we all know that white people don't season their food. So,
Hey now.
Hey now.
I know.
allegedly, from what I've heard. From what
Allegedly.
I've heard
In
about
Minecraft
myself.
land.
You made
That-
me
that would
buy
be-
a spice.
That would be those would be the people my son refers to as the white girl Starbucks chicks
Yeah.
who can't drink black coffee.
What was the name of the spice you made me buy, Tina? Oh, I forgot.
Ras Al
kinda-
Hanout?
It was kind of shawarma-y.
Mhm.
Ras Al Hanout.
Yeah.
I can't say that.
It's
Yeah,
a Middle
that.
Eastern thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
Ras
have
Al
it here
Hanout.
because of.
That's on my daughter's list of spices. We've gotten
I was like,
za'atar.
it's shawarma-y.
and
That's all
Baharat.
I can say.
Well, the cool
Man.
thing about it is that Ras Al Hanout literally just means the top of the shop. So every company and every family has their own different Ras Al Hanout blend.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you
I
buy
didn't know
from
that.
one brand and then you buy another brand, you might be like, this isn't what I had last
Oh, I
time.
did not know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've only
That's
had
what-
2 kinds so far. I've had the I think the brand I usually get is called Cerez, Cerez. And then I tried a different brand and I don't remember their name, but the different brand, it was like really cumin heavy and it tasted kind of Mexican. And I was like,
Mhm.
not my jam. I'm going back to the other one. The one that
I
I,
got
have
what-
is
Whatever was on
it's-
Amazon.
Did I send you the link?
I think so. I did. I think I bought the
Then
one
you probably
said.
got the same one. It's got
Yeah.
it's kind of like a savory pumpkin spice almost. It's got
Yeah.
cinnamon and nutmeg but also like red pepper and
Yeah.
star anise or something.
Yeah.
And it's really
Mhm.
You're
good.
making me hungry.
That's like that's like everybody's in Louisiana has their own gumbo recipe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
And
also
no
on
two
my
people
to-do
have it the
list,
same.
is to try to finish that, but before Neil's deadline of February 15th. Yeah.
Well,
Gum-
you'll get
Gumbo
there.
article. Well, I saw Tina was kind enough to send me yarn, so that's the other pair of socks that I have to work on that actually does have another deadline. 'Cause that was my idea, was to write how I make socks, because it's literally just pieces and parts of other sock patterns, So it's a gumbo
And-
sock. So
Yeah. And don't forget Neil's cowl competition.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to miss out on that
Yeah,
because
I'm not good at that.
I had an idea, but it's also perfect for his hoist the colors.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm saving
true.
it for that. So, but I wrote him an article, so he can't say I didn't give him any.
Oh,
So-
one of those.
I'm sorry that we failed in this way, Neil, but we have other ways.
Hey,
We
I
also
promised
fail you.
I promised him some kind of an article months ago, so I finally got to it. So he shouldn't complain. But see, this is what I'm working on,
I promised him an article when I was finished doing the thing I was doing.
and
that's
it's from
beautiful.
Stash. It's from Stash. Thank you. Copper Story. I found them on Etsy. I think that's the name. And Malabrigo. And basically, I'm just going to knit it until I run out of yarn. And so however long it's going to be will be. So hopefully it'll be a duster length, but at least on me, you tall people, it might not, but for short people, hopefully it will be, but it's not going to be a pattern.
Sweater. I got to wear scarves. I got to wear a hat. I got to wear mittens.
I know. She was all decked out in the snow. Meanwhile, Tina's thinking, just another day.
I literally have the window wide open right now, and I'm in a tank top. So, yeah.
It's back to 70 now. So, it's normal.
Oh.
So.
We were supposed to get snow showers and rain today, but we did not.
Has it ever snowed there?
Yep.
Oh.
My kids got had a snow day once about 20 years ago.
Wow.
And we maybe got half an inch of snow.
Yeah, that's more like what we usually get.
Yeah.
And the other side of town had a little more, and it was super windy, and the teachers didn't want to drive, so they called out school. And by 9 o'clock in the morning, it had all melted.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
That's normally
So,
how
yeah.
it is. That's why I was
Yeah,
so excited.
But I have pictures
to admit,
somewhere of my
it
kids
was
in
freaking hilarious to be 3 days afterwards, and they have freaking backhoes and front loaders on the Causeway Bridge, scooping up the snow and dumping it in the lake. Like, who would have ever thought? I'm like, that's the most redneck way to clean up snow that I've ever heard. I told Denise, I was like, I bet Mark was glad he's retired now because he used to work for the parish. So, like, when it freezes, he was over the guys because we just put sand on the bridges. We don't have salt. Apparently, we borrowed snowplows and salt trucks from somewhere. But they usually just sand it. But, you're out there the whole time, working all overnight. It's, cold and miserable and nasty. I said, man, I bet he was sitting inside watching the TikToking and relaxing. So glad he's retired.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and Denise is, so she can just sit back and knit regardless of the weather.
Ideal.
Which is good for her.
Yeah.
And rearrange her front, seasonal display, which I love when she changes that because it's like that's when the seasons have changed because Denise is redecorated.
But every time I go over there, I'm like, where do you put it? Because it's not like it's cluttered. It's clean and it's neat and pretty. Whereas my house just looks like everything just threw up all over it. And oh well, that's just the way it's gonna be. And she has this like the spare room, because they don't have kids or whatever. So and the nephews and whatnot are all grown now, so nobody really stays the night anymore. So I think some of it's in there, but even that's organized and in boxes and labeled and this. And I'm like, I didn't get this gene. Where did this gene come from? Because I didn't get it. That's not fair.
Yeah, that sounds like my sister, and I'm a lot more like you are. It's just like it's in a spot. That's a spot where it belongs. Whatever it is, that's where it belongs.
Well, I think DK is like this too. That like if you don't see it, it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's ADD quality. I think, but if I don't see it, it doesn't exist. So
that has definitely gotten worse with the change.
Yeah. It's
all right,
much
ladies,
worse.
I've got mothering I need to do.
All right.
Oh, well, thank you for coming. It's always good to see you.
Sarah, I see you soon.
Yes, I know. Those of us who don't get to go hang out with you guys are a little jealous.
Pictures.
That's right.
I'll see you ladies later, and happy birthday.
Bye. Have a safe trip.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, and we want lots of pictures.
That's right.
I will try.
To make
I'm
them more jealous.
Every now and then, just somebody be like, picture.
I demand a picture. She's like, it's 2 a.m. It's like, give us a picture.
Pretend you're Amy and it's snowing.
Exactly.
There you go.
Snowing friends.
Snowing friends. Oh no.
Just randomly send Anne messages. Picture time. Picture time. So, no, I hope you guys have a wonderful retreat. And maybe there'll be one we can all go to sometime.
That would be awesome.
And maybe Neil and Annie could come, and that would be a lot of fun. I don't know if any of you guys saw Annie's latest video with her and her husband cutting a tree in the hurricane wind.
Not yet.
No.
It's like 70-mile-an-hour winds, and then they're out there cutting down part of a tree in the garden. Like, no big deal. Like,
This is a wee bit windy out here, isn't it?
pretty much, yeah. Yeah, Elle, when I lived in North Carolina as a child, I remember stuff like that. They would close school if they even thought of snow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, my kid had a whole week off of school because Monday was Martin Luther King Day. I had to work, but my husband had to work. But so Monday he was off school. Then obviously Tuesday and Wednesday. And then like every day it kept being like, they're like, okay, we're gonna close again because like seriously, until Friday afternoon, like the causeway still wasn't fully open. Some of the expressways still weren't, and some of the, and our parish is really big. So there and it goes up north. Like I'm above the lake, but the parish goes up. And or north for normal people, and it's colder up, it's more country up there, so if one school can't open, they'll close the whole parish. It's not like a school by school thing, so
Right.
and that's counties for you northerners.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us know, but it's good to have it pointed out.
Because one year they had a flooding event and they didn't close all the schools, they only closed some of the schools. And Denise used to work for the school board, so she was like, "Oh my god, it was like mayhem," because they were like, "Oh my god, you didn't close that school, you only closed that school." So now they close every flipping school, which we're a huge parish, and they close every school no matter what. Period. So
Well, see, when I lived in New Jersey, it was a toss-up because they had a certain number of snow days into the calendar, so that you didn't have to make up those days at the end of the year.
yeah,
But if you had too many, then you had to make those days up at the end of the year, and that was going to the end of June and stuff.
yes.
So it's
we
always
have-
kind
we-
of
we
like
do
that
too.
fine
We have weather
line.
days. They just call it weather days, which
Yeah.
normally is
Yeah.
hurricane days.
Well, yeah, but it's like you enjoy them at the time, but then you think, oh man, now I got to
Right.
still go to school to the end of June.
Well,
Yeah.
I think they have. I thought they had 5 built in normally to weather days, which are usually hurricane days, and sometimes there's a freeze. Because we're surrounded by water and you can't drive over bridges when it's frozen because they're frozen. And so they would have used 4, and I don't think we used any hurricane days in the fall, and they get out like mid-May or late May. So I think what they'll do is if they have to, they'll take it away from a holiday break, which we have Mardi Gras and Easter coming up, or they'll add like X amount of minutes to the end of every day. One year they did that. There was like 7 extra minutes to into the school day for the rest of for like 3 months. I'm like, nobody did nothing that last 7 minutes.
Yeah, you're not learning anything. You're just counting down 7 minutes.
Like, no, everybody had their book bags on and were ready, and the teacher had her cup and they were going. Nobody was doing nothing.
That's one A-type personality in the office who's kind of like, we lost those 7 minutes, so you're going to give us those 7 minutes, because if you don't, we're going to get in trouble with the state. We won't get our funding. So those 7 minutes, you're gonna do it.
I was just like, really? 7 minutes? And it wasn't even 7. I think it was like 4.5 or something stupid. I was like, that's so dumb. Like,
Yeah, whoever came up with that idea wasn't that smart.
It's something that has to do with like school funding.
It's the
Oh, I
funding,
know.
yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that, but it's just not feasible to actually be a functional time thing.
No, and especially in high school because the kids are changing every, 6 classes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay. So then it was spread out like 1 minute per class.
It's,
Oh boy, wow.
Oh,
basically the teacher saying the bell has not rung yet. You're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You have 4 minutes left.
they got like a little like runner timer and be like, okay, wait, go.
It's just like so dumb, but I mean, I get it. Just the same reason they have the testing in April and basically they don't do anything after that for the last month of school. I'm like,
That's
why are
so
they
ridiculous. Like, make
Why
us
are
do
they in
all that
school?
long testing, right? And they're like, okay, now keep learning now that you've done the
Yeah.
one test we care about. Like, the kids have checked out, and the teacher's like, we don't
But
care
we
either.
totally don't teach to the test. That does not happen.
No,
at
we would never
all.
do that. No, we our evaluations are not based off of these tests
No,
at all. We
not
would
at
not do anything
all.
to make sure that our evaluations would, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
Well-
seniors get out like the beginning of May, so they really don't care.
hmm I had really quick story time with Caro. I had one student who literally was making attempts on my life, right?
What?
Yeah,
That's not okay.
No, it's not okay. And at one
That's
point,
against
like,
the rules.
yeah, they had like they were making detailed plans, like knew what model they were gonna buy. Like it was
geez,
like I was actually kind of impressed, except it was about me, so I was a little like
And
terrified.
it wasn't
right?
Minecraft plans.
Yeah, it was not Minecraft. But you know, of course, like my principal was like, okay, well, you're the only one that's actually qualified to like teach special education math, so she has to stay in your class. And I was like, what?
Oh,
What? No, hell no.
What? Yeah, so that's what happened, right? So she ended up staying in my class, and we were always kind of like with each other, right? After she got caught with the plans and everything. But at one point, like in the last week of class, like she and I were talking to each other, and she's like, "This is stupid. I don't know why I need to be here, and I'd rather just go." I was like, "Man, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret right now." And she's like, "What's that?" I was like, "You got 5 days of the term left, and the truancy officer's not gonna show up until you haven't shown up for 7. So you can fucking take off, right? I didn't see her for the rest of the year. It was fucking fantastic.
That's been done, yeah.
That's crazy. But
That's the reason I'm not a teacher anymore, but I haven't had that happen. Of course,
Well,
they
I found out.
they were preschoolers. So.
Yeah, I found out later that my principal basically did something that was illegal, right? By saying that she had to stay in my class, right?
yeah.
So
That
she was
sounds-
so
yeah.
surprised when I switched school. She was like, "I thought you were going to stay here another year." It's like, "Oh, you know, just thought I'd try something different without
I
you."
thought I'd try not dying, just thought I'd.
Yeah.
Like, I
Thought maybe
thought I'd try something new and exciting, like not having active threats on my
Yeah.
life.
like,
Yeah.
have a principal who won't, make me stay with a student who
Yeah.
wants
Literally
to
wants to
end
kill
me.
me. Like, yeah, like they're making plans.
Wow.
An awful idea.
I
You know,
just
and
can't
the-
believe that
and the
kids are
community-
allowed back in school. Like, if you're caught with these plans,
Right.
Like, yeah, they caught the kid with the plans, like, and the only reason I knew that they weren't going to do it is because in order for you to like go pick up like the item, right, you have to like show ID. But I was kind of like, but this kid's actually kind of resourceful, right? So like when they learn that
Yeah.
they don't need ID, they'll go
Yeah.
find somebody else that has a pew pew somewhere
Right,
else. So I was
right.
like, I don't really want to mess with that.
and it doesn't even have to be the original plan. If they want to do it, they're going to find a way to do it. It doesn't matter
Do
if
it.
it's with a pew or not. You know?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No,
That's
it was
terrible, Cassie.
I'm sorry,
horrible.
Cassie.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
I mean, here that's like the kids immediately expelled. So that's not.
Yeah, no, that didn't happen either. The closest we got to that was like the officer on site was like, "Do you want to press charges against a 14-year-old?" And I was like, "That seems kind of messed up." No.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
when you
'cause, like-
put it that way,
Well-
because we have a special school too that they can go to once they get expelled. Like they have that, like it's to that point. But even that, if they get kicked out there, you're just done. Like I don't know where they go. Maybe prison. I don't know, but they don't.
They had
Oh
programs.
my god. Cassie, 2-level spinal fusion. Oh my god.
Oh,
Jesus.
awful.
that's
No
our
wonder you got
commercial-
out of that.
That's our. This is our commercial for education, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's messed
No.
up, guys.
I just thought
Like,
it was bad when 3-year-olds threw chairs at me.
Yeah, we had a kid in one of my kids' class who threw scissors at a couple of the other kids. He was a handful,
Yeah.
and
That's a nice way
my
of putting
husband
it.
and I volunteered to, and his problem was he wasn't getting any attention,
Mhm.
and so at home, like he was ignored. He wasn't fed. He was ignored,
mhm.
and any attention was better than no attention.
Yep.
And my husband went, because we were volunteering one day, he just says, "Why do you do this? Like, why do you act this way?" And he told him, he says, nobody pays me any attention. He says, "Well, let's try something. Why don't you do something really good and see if you get attention?" And he did. He did something I don't even remember. And the teacher's like, "Great job. You helped somebody out. That's awesome." And suddenly, kids weren't looking at him in fear anymore.
Mhm.
And that's all it was. He just needed attention. But he's the rarity. A lot of kids out there just have a lot of problems. But this
Yeah,
was somebody who had like 3 father figures, so to speak, in his life by the age of 5. So
Well, it
there
does
wasn't a
create
lot of
vicious cycle, for the teacher because they act
Mhm.
out, then they get, then it gets on their record and everybody knows. Trust me, all the teachers know,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
kids are, I used to, when I would start, like I said, I don't have preschoolers, I would purposely not read their folders, which you wouldn't think preschoolers would have folders, but they did.
Mhm.
And the only thing I read was their allergies and medications. So, so that I didn't, accidentally
Kill 'em.
kill them. And that was all I would read. I didn't read their history because this was, Head Start.
It'll
so we
put
got
a-
a lot of family history. It
Yeah.
wasn't like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like preschoolers just walked in the door. Like there's home visits and everything, so.
Mhm.
He's like, but I didn't read. I mean, I met their parents and I went on my home visit, but I didn't read a whole bunch of stuff just to see what would,
Mhm.
how it would be. And then sometimes I opened the folder and I went, oh, okay. Now I get
That
it.
explains so
This
much.
makes so much sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
my
wait a few
bro-
days, I'd wait a week or so, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. I gotta read
My
that.
I
son-
see it now.
Yeah, my son got suspended once because he got in a fight. Well, actually, he was defending himself. Someone attacked him. He pushed back, but they had a no tolerance policy, so everybody got punished.
Mhm.
Right.
And the kid took scissors and cut through his backpack
Mm.
strap, brand new backpack. And I told the counselor, I'm like, I paid $50 for that backpack. I want it replaced.
Mhm.
And the mom sent a note saying they'd send me a Walmart backpack. I'm like, no.
No.
You
You're
will
gonna
go
pay
and you will get the
$50.
exact same backpack, or you will give me the cash equivalent of it. And then later on, my son turned the kid in because he was showing kids naked pictures of his little brother.
Oh.
And I said, you know what? Something's going on in that home, and it's
that
not a
house is
good
not
thing.
okay.
And we went right to the counselor, and she's just like, "You're right. Something's
Yeah.
going on." But yeah,
Good.
because
Sorry, that
we
just
had
tickles
gone
me.
to my son's counselor who was checked out because he was retired pretty much on the job, didn't
Mhm.
care, didn't respond. And
Once they get tenure, they like
he was close to 60, so he was really checked out. And
definitely.
they had different counselors for every grade level in the middle school. So we went to my daughter's counselor, who was on top of it. Like, she became my son's counselor. She's like, I don't care if he's in the wrong grade. He's mine now. And she called the CPS and stuff or whatever about that kid, showing pictures of his brother, because she's like, something's going on bad in that home, that he
Mhm.
thinks it's okay to do that. And the brother was like 3
that's
years
like
old.
the popo involved around here.
Yeah. And it wasn't that the boy he wasn't doing anything to his brother. I think things had been done to him
The
Mhm.
poor
and
kid.
was happening also to his brother. And it was a cry for help, kind of. I don't know. But he got they moved and he went to another school. But yeah, no, at least some of the counselors were on top of it. Some of them couldn't care less.
I always loved counselors because they were either like for you or they just made things like extra difficult for no reason, right?
Mhm.
That's most my experience with counselors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I had like one day, like long story short, for anybody that's the first time hearer of this, like I used to work with special education math classes. So, there's nothing like trying to teach algebra to people that can't read numbers. It's like, it's something unique and special. And then they throw letters in there. Oh man, it's a great time for everybody.
Ugh.
Look, I'm not in special ed, and I also agree that letters should not be in numbers.
No.
So
No, just my lack of math ability tells me that,
Yeah.
Um,
But I had one guy, they put this one student in my class, and I was kind of like, it's one of those things, because I hate saying this, but like my kids usually have like a look, right? And so when he came into my class, I was like, are you in the right place? And he was like, I think so. And then so I looked at the paper, I was like, oh yeah, I guess you are supposed to be here. Okay. Like, I've never seen you before. But, so he was in the class for like a week. And at one point, like, and it was one of those things where it's like, I don't think you're supposed to be in here. And he was like, well, this is where the counselor put me. And I was like, and I asked him, I was like, when's your meeting? And he was like, what meeting? I was like, your IEP meeting. Like, when are we supposed to have it? Because if you're in my class, I need to know when we're doing it. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I looked this kid up. He's Jen, right? Just total Jen, like not supposed to be in my class. So I went upstairs to the counselor. I was like, hey, you put so-and-so in my classroom. And she was like, oh yeah, because I saw that you only had 18 kids in that class. I was like, let me tell you why.
yeah, there's a reason for that.
It's like, take them out. And she was like, oh, but you've only got 18 kids. Like, I think you're new.
That
To
we
all
call those
of
reduced
this.
numbers for a reason.
Yeah. Like, it's not reduced because, things like I have to do everything completely different. It's like, well, he's struggling in the regular algebra classes. I thought he would do well in your class. And I
Then
was
he
like,
goes
you know
and
what?
takes
He
the
probably
assessment, and
will.
we find out where he needs to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. The year my daughter started in middle school, I guess it tells you how the difference in maturity level of boys and girls. Because the counselor said that she was spending all her time with all these 6th grade boys who just come in crying because they couldn't handle going to a new school and changing classes. She goes, I've never had this happen before. I don't know what's wrong with all these sixth grade boys, but they're all crying. And when my son was an office aide, the first week of school, this little boy was wandering, and the office said, can you take him to his classroom because he's new and he doesn't know where his classroom is? Son, sure. Hour later, the office aide comes back to him and says, hey, can you take this kid to his classroom? He goes, oh, another one? It's the same kid. He just wandered out of the classroom and wandered back into the hallway. 3 times in one day, he took this kid back to a class. And finally, he told the lady in the office, like, yeah, this is above my pay grade. I need to be in class right now, so I can't just keep helping this poor kid.
I had one.
He would
boy.
get bored in the class and just walk out.
They do that, right? Like that was one kid that I had, and it was something like, sorry, you got me on teaching telling stories, so I apologize. But I had one boy, and his nana would call with a translator because it was that kind of situation, right?
Mhm.
And so she called and she was like, my grandson keeps leaving the class. I need you to keep him in there. And I was like, I don't know if you're aware of this. Like, I actually teach classes all day, right? Like, my job is not to follow your grandson around and tell him to stay in class.
Mhm.
And she would be like, okay, but you need to make sure he stays in class. And I was like, we are not that kind of facility. Like, and I would go and talk to his teachers, and I was like, hey, can you give me like the skivvy? Like, what's going on? It's like, he just gets up and leaves. And it's like, and you just let him leave? Like, do you call security? Like, what are you doing? And they were like, I'm just tired of him and I don't care. I was like, well, you need to stop. You need to start caring.
You need
right?
to start caring, yeah.
Yeah. And so unfortunately, like, what happens is that when I start paying attention to you like that, like things happen in not a good way, right? And so I, during my free period, I would find this kid and like kind of watch him, and I'd be like, this kid's got 2 backpacks, right? And then I was like, this kid's got 3 phones, right? And so I went to the security guy on.
He's not texting Nana with that.
No, he's not. And so I went to the security guy, and I was like, I know you can't tell me, but do you have eyes on that kid? And he was kind of like, I may be observing. I'm like, okay, cool. That's all I need to know. Right. And at one point when he kept getting up and leaving, I was like, hey man, you gotta stop doing that. And he basically was like, fuck you, bitch, blah, 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 and you don't blah, 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 blah. I was like, I think you need to understand something. I will change your life tomorrow. I am not the person to fuck with right now. But what ended up happening is he got in a fight with another kid. And so we had to have a meeting, because that's what we do. We have meetings. Right. We have meetings before meetings too. It's absolutely magical. Right. But we had a meeting, and I was kind of like, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. He keeps getting up and leaving. He leaves campus. He's doing some questionable things, and I don't have the ability or the income to basically help with this. We have to send him to a different school. Right. And my superintendent of SPED was there, and she was like, no, we're not going to do that. And I was like, I don't think you understand. I actually think he's a risk to both the students and the teachers, and what needs to be happened with him is not something that we can do at this facility. And she's like, I understand, just make it work. And I was like, right. So I'm going to fast forward to the part where he brought a pew-pew to school.
Oh, joy.
Yeah, brought a pew-pew to school. And so after that, we had another meeting. It was really magical.
Good thing he wasn't friends with that other kid.
I know, right? Yeah, absolutely. But and so the superintendent was back, and so I was like, okay, so before we get started, I just want to take a moment to read the meeting notes from last time, because I think we need to revisit this. And so I did that part, and she's like, I don't understand why you think that's okay. I was like, well, I want you to spend many nights not sleeping because your choice almost killed 2 kids. Okay, but that's literally what happened, and I need you to really like have that sink in. So, and then she, Amy, you're gonna fucking love this. She wouldn't let me write the paperwork for him to go to the other school. She's like, I'm gonna do it because I'm gonna do it right.
Oops.
She didn't do it right, and they wouldn't take him, and so he couldn't go to school. And then his nana was calling me saying I needed to take him to school because he was doing all sorts of like stuff at home, and I was like, I can't, like, I don't know what to do.
You need a social worker, ma'am, not me.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It was wild.
Okay, I'm done with my teacher story. I'm sorry.
It's a wonder that you
No.
left that profession.
Yeah, they were really surprised when I resigned. They were just kind of like, really? And I was like, yeah, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
I think I'm good. It's like,
Shocking.
well, what about the kids? I was like, no.
God
about
bless
the
them, but
kids?
not my problem anymore.
Ask that teacher who got shot from the six-year-old about the
Right.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that they knew that he had the gun. It had been reported earlier in the day that he had a gun, and they didn't find it when they searched his backpack. I'm sorry.
How?
I'm pretty sure you must not have searched the backpack because
Yeah.
Maybe you should
Yeah.
have searched his death too.
Man,
But-
I am reading a book, like, because I'm trying to read colorful covers for my book blankets, and this was a really pretty cover. But
It's a colorful story too.
it's a colorful story, and I'm gonna keep going because I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt that it's gonna end in certain ways, and maybe it won't end up in this whole woke lecture thing.
Oh
But
no.
some of the characters are woke, and
Owl.
it's leading up to a pew pew incident, and
Mhm.
I'm like, and of course the person that it's insinuating would be the pew pewer is like, they're making him out to be a Yahtzee, and which the character is saying some abhorrent things, absolutely, but they preface it with he's Catholic and he wants a trad wife, and he's 15 trying to piss off his liberal mom, like,
so he's pushing her buttons.
he's pushing her buttons on purpose, but so I don't know if they're leading up to that he's gonna be the pew pewer or what. But I'm like, and it's just like every woke little, there's a trans character and a pan character, and I'm like, but the cover's so pretty, and I mean, I need to.
Well, you can find a lot of covers out there.
It's like black with these really pretty pink and green flowers and stuff on it. So
Don't be
I was just-
catfished. That's what's
I was-
happening. You're getting
I was
catfished.
catfished by the
You're getting
cover of this
catfished into
book.
reading this terrible book.
Mhm.
Well, that's okay. I'm sure, all the actresses who are nominated for the Oscar who probably won't win it because the trans actor is going to win it will publicly be all
So I
supportive
heard
but
y'all say
privately
that.
be
Is there
seething.
really a trans actor
Mhm.
like nominated?
Yeah, for
Who
the
is
the
that?
female category, for that Amelia Perez movie, the one where the cartel boss is a man and fakes his own death and reinvents himself as a woman. Which,
I got nothing, Coach. What?
yeah, and I guess critics have raved about it, but people who watched it hated it, said it was awful.
It sounds
And
terrible.
evidently, there's a big controversy because it's a Mexican cartel, and nobody in the movie is played by anybody Mexican. Like all the characters are Mexican. Selena Gomez is in it.
But
So
they
is
checked
Saldana.
off the trans category.
Yes, and the trans person is nominated for the
There's
female
no
Oscar.
Mexicans in the Mexican cartel.
You know,
I
they
mean,
just
that's
need to
like-
make a woke genre, right? Like every time you write something
Yeah, they
woke,
should.
just put it in there. Like it's just
Yeah.
a genre right now. Don't act like you're everything else. Like no, you're
Just call
fucking
it-
woke.
Just call it batshit crazy genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't even know about that. I knew about the whole trans being nominated thing, and then my daughter's like, "Did you hear about the controversy?" I'm like, "Which one?" And she goes, "Well, because there aren't any Mexican actors in the
Well,
movie."
see, but they couldn't make a Mexican actors because then that would insinuate that Mexicans are in the Mexican cartel.
What?
I
Don't tell
know.
me that.
That's crazy.
So that's probably why they didn't do that.
Pretty
also,
much.
water is wet.
And
Yeah.
snow is cold, I've learned.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Speaking of
Yeah,
terrible
shocking.
genres, I made a horrifying discovery today.
Oh, boy.
It was okay. So I sent a meme to a friend today, and then he sends me a meme back, and it's I don't know, it was one I had never seen before. It was like some dinosaur and like some medieval manuscript, and it was like, and then the raptor went forth and got all the bitches or something, and I was like, haha. But it reminded me of this book that I had seen like a couple of years ago. And I think it was called like Taken by the T-Rex or something. And it was like some erotica about a
Is this a
T-Rex.
Chuck Tingles book?
I don't know.
This
But,
sounds like a Chuck Tingles book. He
it's-
writes those. He
If
writes
anybody's going to know T-Rex erotica, it's
I
going to
think
be
it's written
Kara.
by a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that too. She's got her ear to the ground for the weird.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
And you look sharp.
Oh,
Oh, and you can
gotta
rub
watch out for those T-Rexes, Ann.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
Apparently,
we're really
here's
into
the
this.
thing. this is a whole thing though. It's an actual genre of literature now. Dinosaur erotica. I'm not joking. This is a thing. So there's another book and it's like Taken by the Allosaurus or something. I'm like, I don't even know what the fucking Allosaurus is. And how are you?
So these are people having sex with the dinosaur, or dinosaurs having sex with dinosaurs?
No, it's people.
No,
It's
people
like
and
and dinosaurs.
No.
Do they
Yeah.
turn into people, or do they have sex
No,
with them in
they're
their dinosaur form?
dinosaurs.
I
They're
Jesus
dinosaurs.
can
This is
come
like
right
the
now.
Santa Claus thing.
I'm ready. Jesus can come. That's it.
Man,
Please,
you know what?
come on, buddy, please.
No, you want to hear something that's really wild? I had to explain to my
That
my
Stegosaurus would be rough.
I had to explain to my guy friend what the Omega verse was because he didn't know what it was, and then so I was like, if I had to really
God.
summarize it, it's a genre that's run by female Mormons with problems, and they just basically create like these really twisted worlds, right? But I started to explain one of the
I'm
stories.
glad I don't
and-
know what that is either.
Oh
Um,
man, it's weird because it's like, okay, first off, like Omegaverse, it's supposed to be kind of like werewolf themed, right? And like, don't get me wrong, I like a good werewolf story. I'm into it, right? But the guys never turn into werewolves, right? They just get kind of like bigger and they growl and they get kind of animalistic.
It seems like
right?
a missed opportunity.
Yeah, it's like they got horny after drinking. That's what it kind of sounds like to me, right? But then like the women, the betas, and sometimes the men are betas too. Okay, and I'm gonna circle back to that to make it even more entertaining for all of us here. The women when they're betas, they go into heat, right? And they have no choice because if they don't get with an alpha, their uterus will explode and they will die. Okay,
Oh, that's
Right.
terrible.
but
That's the
it gets
worst
even
way to
better.
die.
It gets even better because not only
I love
Are
the
there-
contrivances. I'm sorry.
yeah, but
I'm
talk
sorry.
about
I
the
have-
omegas. Explain the omegas, Caro.
Oh, well, the Omegas are the guys that can get pregnant.
Yeah,
That is.
And Mormons wrote this, you said? Is that-
Yeah,
a
it's
lot
right-
of them. Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of them are female Mormons, and not only it gets even better because like
I mean, I'm down for a
listen to
revenge story
listen to
of a
this
guy
shit.
getting pregnant. That'd be pretty funny.
No, so the crazy thing about this is that when one Mormon author does better than the rest, they sue her.
When people write about different religious groups, they just don't know. They just don't know the fine minutia.
they're the same. They're the same. Yes, but they're the same Mormon moms who wouldn't let their kids watch Harry Potter.
Okay,
just saying.
but like, how
Oh,
does
yeah.
that court transcript go? Your Honor, we're here today to defend Sally's Omega porno because her guy got pregnant first, and
I
more
got
people
I
read
got to
that.
read some of the transcripts, and one of the things the judge
Why
said
would
is
you
like
do
so
that?
because when crazy shit like this happens, I pay attention because it may cause ripples in my industry, right? So, like for example, when Neil Gaiman went and sued Todd McFarlane because of the resemblance to a character to Angela, I had to pay attention to that and see if it went through. Because if it did, then people are going to cite that case in their case. So that's
true.
why I followed the shit. But so what happened is in part of the transcript that I read. It was just kind of like the judge was like, so if I want to understand this correctly, you're trying to claim that you have a trademark on the phrase of alpha, omega, and beta. And of course, they were like, yes, Your Honor. It's like, you are aware that these are scientific terms that have been used
And
for a
Greek
long
letters.
time. Yeah.
Greek letters, yeah.
Yeah. And so they were kind of like, well, Your Honor, we're using it in this context. He's like, this is the most ridiculous thing I have sat through today.
I mean,
Yeah,
so
I
I
don't
thought-
know.
I mean, this is what's my news feed, okay? Bucky sues gas station because their logo is similar. Okay, that's the kind of lawsuits I'm familiar with.
I'm still kind of stuck on Lisa's comment about KFC Colonel Sanders erotica.
I'm hoping
That's
she's
the same. It's
There's a
thing.
video game.
Yeah. You can
It's a
woo the
dating
Sander.
Wait, what?
There's a video game where you can get with Colonel Sander.
Why?
And he's super buff.
Why?
Oh man, he's like a total he's got like Chad bod and his muscles are coming through and the apron's just straining against those pectorals.
He does cook though, so I'm just saying.
Okay, and he
Oh,
talks
I
about
mean,
chicken, so he's not going to have
Fry me
pectorials.
some chicken. you know.
Listen, in erotica, if you are a guy and you're cooking, that means you're domestic and breedable. Okay, like we're into this.
Look, I don't know what kind of erotica y'all be reading, but I grew up with Harlequin romance
Harlequin?
novels where, a real man showed up and there was no chicken and there was no dinosaurs and there was no Mormons.
Wait.
involved.
Are you saying that Colonel Sanders isn't a real man? Is that the hill you're gonna die on?
He's not Fabio on the damn cover.
He is today.
I'm
Fabio.
pretty sure if you eat his
The
mashed
romance
potatoes,
covers of my childhood.
he
had great hair.
6-pack. Okay.
My favorite romance that I didn't read. I just read the cover. Right.
Damn it,
wasn't gonna
Neil.
read-
It always gets back to sex.
Yeah.
And Neil's not
No.
here.
Oh, I don't like that Burger King. He's creepy.
Neil's part.
But
He's
Wait,
very
what?
creepy.
It's when you're
They're
the Burger
next.
King. Oh my.
But so the romance novel cover that I liked that I never read, it was about how to woo the coronavirus. And so like
I heard about that.
yeah, so like they really wrote it where the coronavirus became like a person and you could breed with it. And I was like, wow. Like I'd rather be like,
what
you know,
the hell
quarantine.
is wrong with people?
That's
Right.
worse. That's
You know, do
that's
you
as bad
ever-
as that stupid
do you
movie
ever,
about the
like-
woman with the merman or whatever it was.
Okay, somebody who's smarter than me, who invented the printing press? Because that person is like rolling in their grave.
Gutenberg.
Gutenberg. Yeah.
This was not the purpose of the printing press.
Have you ever been?
I'm glad I'm literate.
I wish I,
mean,
was.
I'm just over here laughing. It's like, have you ever been so in to Monster Effin' that you are like, woohoo, the coronavirus is such a big and evil force. I want to get with that. That's my
That thing is, it sounds like something the Babylon Bee would write.
I mean,
Yeah,
it is spiky and
I-
pokey.
I
Yeah.
got in
Probably
trouble
looks like-
because
Fauci.
I got in trouble because I took the cover and put it in a romance group as a joke, and like somebody got offended. They got offended. They were like, "You can't post this here," and I was like,
actually,
"It's
that's
like,
my fantasy.
yeah."
Like,
They were like, "You can't just go around making fun of covers because if you do that, then what happens if somebody makes fun of our cover?" I was like, "If somebody makes fun of your cover, then you probably made a stupid ass cover. Like I don't know what to tell you."
Pretty much, yeah.
Like I put
Wow.
like I'm not gonna act like my romance covers are classy because they're not, because I literally have like, you know, either like half naked people on them or a butt or something, because it's about marketing. Like what are you buying in this
Right,
moment?
right.
Right.
Like
I know what I'm
don't
doing.
I don't read that genre, you know. I mean, I read the stupid ones growing up, you know, that my mom had a ton of, but
Mhm.
that's like when I read that stupid. And by the way, I gave up on book 3 of the stupid Court of Thorn and Roses.
Yay.
I quit. Shauna, if you're watching, you're allowed to quit. Let it go. It sucks and it's stupid. But
I hate that.
the fact
series
that
so much.
this is the smut, because like it's a whole thing like on Instagram, and I'm not on TikTok, I watch it 3 weeks later on Instagram like a grown up. So but the women are like, I'm smut, I have my smut book, oh, I love my smut. I'm like, ma'am, that's not smut. Like
It's
no.
bad.
Like
like,
okay,
plus-
it's baby. Well, I almost
like-
says baby smut. That's not right. But it's
You
like,
didn't talk about the smut
it's
book
like
anyway.
gateway.
You put it in the paper bags and you passed it off to the next person to read all the smut books, and they gave you all their smut books that they read. That's
Oh,
my
that's
and
what
my
you
mom
do.
would pass those
That
flowers
was
ones back and
like
forth.
700 pages. Well, here's my point. If you want to read a smut book, read a smut book. I'm not judging you for your book choices. I mean, a little bit. But
Well,
if you want
no.
to read a book that's 700 pages long and there's 12 pages of smut, might I refer you to Harlequin Romances, where you can get much more
Have
bang
you
for
tried
your
short
buck.
stories? By the way, speaking of
mean-
short stories, mine are 99 cents. You can find them on Amazon if you want short smut. I'm just
There
saying.
you go. There you
I
go.
know what I am.
Versus 700 pages of stupid
Well,
fairies and
clearly-
worlds and
Clearly,
whatever
there
else
is definitely a audience, because if there's dinosaur smut, then there's audience for anything.
It's crazy. So like I read some of her other stuff. Like she's got one book called like Crescent City, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot. It
Okay,
is-
yeah. Everybody kept saying that was good.
No, like hear me out here. Hear me out here. I know.
Trust me,
I
believe
keep,
you.
I keep talking, and I'm really sorry, guys, but like I have to die on this hill. So like this is like a lady where it's kind of like this was the pen
I have a
that her
question. Is
father
it actually
used.
set? Because Crescent City is what we call New Orleans, so it's not set down here, right?
No,
Okay, see, I'm out.
no, it's a
Shall we
fantasy.
gonna-
It's a fantasy place.
Oh,
We've got angels, we've got demons, we've got some fairies, we've got like some Ifrit looking things. It's not
No,
here.
no.
No. Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, so it's kind of like this was the pen that he used all the time, the pen that he would write those long letters that were so meaningful to her. It was something deep and meaningful to her heart. And to this day, as she kept it in the drawer that will never open again, and for the rest of this book, she knew that it would be safe in this one location. Right? Okay, now hear me out. This happens all the fucking time. Okay, it's like there was the bus that she got on all the time with souls that were wandering off into locations of unknown places on journeys that she had yet to understand, but she felt that they were of some vague importance, right? Okay, so we'll move on to like the dude, bro. There was a guy, like whatever. He had like nice muscles and shit, but whatever. He's a piece of shit. I'm not gonna pay attention to him. Please chase me. Chase
Yes.
me more.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly how the stupid Court of Thorn and Roses is.
Yeah, so
Thorns
take
and roses.
take that times 10, right? Like it
Yeah.
was and
Yeah.
it's like it's worse than Tom Clancy because like hear me out, like Tom Clancy, like in Hunt for Red October, I will never forget the 3 pages I read about a painting in there that I never saw again. I was at one point I was like, why did I just spend 3 pages about I thought this painting was like the key to finding the submarine, but it's gone. And so is the mailman that we spent 2 pages talking about. Like, why is this happening to me?
Because
And then
Tom
the movie-
Clancy had issues, but
Yeah, and in the movie we don't see the painting or the mailman. I felt really close
But I mean,
to
a lot of authors write like that. But that's like, the Wuthering Heights of the 17 pages of a flower. Okay, that's how classic
God,
literature
Wuthering
was.
Heights
Not
were
gay fairy sex. I mean, just
Or dinosaurs.
Wuthering Heights where none of the characters are actually likable.
Yeah, it makes my job as an editor really hard sometimes because some people will come in with like that super extravagant flowery language and I'm like, look, this actually hurts your story. It's like, well, I feel like there's a market for it. And I was like, that market is stupid and they usually steal your book. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like
yeah. I mean, like if I'm gonna read 700 pages, I want it to be like Gone with the Wind, War and Peace, not this stupid fairy romance where everyone is awful. Like I literally I gave up on like page 165 and I gave it back to my friend that loaned it to me and she loved it. She had like highlights and notes. I'm like, sweetie, you need to branch out. And
Have you ever
I'm
seen
like,
someone else's notes in a book and you're like hard disagree?
Yeah.
like notes and highlights and she had categories for the color. No, sweetie, no. There's better
What
books than
the hell?
no, they do that.
She's
They
20.
do.
She's 20, so but I was like, sweetie, I love you, but I literally don't care if any of these characters live or die. I don't care what happens to her sisters. I don't care what happens to their stupid land. I don't care what happens in their stupid war. I hope they all die. That's how much this book sucks. Because
Yeah,
normally you can read a book and hate every character. Because you want like, let's see what happens to them. Oh, they're so awful. Something's got to, vengeance has to come. No, I literally do not care.
Yeah, like at this point, like when people recommend those books to me, I'm like, can I recommend something of intelligence to you?
Yeah,
Have you tried Radiance by Grace Davin? That is quite the thrilling read. I really do recommend it.
Like
But
I didn't even want to Google. Zero interest what happens to those fake people.
guess what? They all live happily ever after, but in the next book, their characters are going to completely change to be the villain for whoever the main character is now. There you go.
There you go. But
Yeah.
still, don't care.
Yeah.
Like, just like, I like to write and I love to read. No one should hate your characters that much.
It's like, but that shows my skill as a writer if I can evoke these kind of emotions about my characters. Like, listen, people
it
want to at
doesn't.
least like your main character a little bit.
You just
a little
frustrated
bit.
me that I was mad that I read 2 freaking books at 700 pages and got a quarter of the way to the next.
I'm just feeling bad for anyone who's in a love affair with a T-Rex because their arms are really short and they can't get a hug.
No,
I was
they're
trying to
just-
figure that out before. I'm like, okay, so even
Oh,
if
God,
a
did you go
T-Rex
Google it?
wasn't massively bigger, right? So like you have okay, so let's say a T-Rex is only 6 feet tall, right? But their proportions, they got like this big pear-shaped body that's like all 3-dimensional, but then they have these little arms. Like,
See, I have a question that I do not want an answer to, but I'm like, did it start with some sort of alien fanfic, like from the movie Alien? Is that where this begun?
No, I think it started probably with a dare, and then the dare ended up being popular.
oh my God, wait a minute! I just repressed memory.
Oh,
I'm
God.
sorry, and now I have to share it with everybody. There's
Okay.
even worse. There's even worse. There's a book on Amazon. I'm sure you can look it up. You know that paperclip from Windows? There's
Yes.
an
Oh
erotica
God.
about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I heard it. I saw that. I saw an article about that.
There's
I
a
just remembered
Clippy.
that.
I'm
There's
sorry,
a
what
Clippy
was that?
erotica.
It's
Yeah.
erotica?
Listen,
Yeah.
I won't go there. I will never
There's a
go
Tetris
there.
one
Like,
too, I think.
a Tetris one? Okay, I have to find this shit.
Why?
Yeah, he's very helpful.
What? But
Very helpful.
Somebody is playing Tetris.
no,
and
he was
thinking
not helpful.
thoughts.
That he was awful. He was terrible, and no one liked Clippy. So why would we think he's helpful in that category?
It's
Maybe
called
like
Taken
in
by
a weird
Tetris
domineering.
Blocks.
Maybe, just maybe you would like to arrange it this way. No, I wouldn't, Clippy. Shut up.
Taken by Tetris Blocks has 2.2 star reviews with 165 reviews and a 412 star rating. I want to find one of these. Sorry. Let's see.
These have to be self-published, yes?
Yeah.
God, I hope so.
I guess I can find out.
I want
Carol,
Kindle,
I
yes.
dare
Kindle.
you. I dare you to go into the next work meeting. Propose some sort of erotica for the comic book.
No, so no, they have a joke at work. They like, we don't do Faye Black activities. For those of you who don't know, that's my romance handle, right? And so anytime something gets close to like raunchy, they're kind of like, that's Faye Black territory. And then like I appear in the chat being like, Faye Black stuff, like what's going on, guys? What's happening?
Oh man, you're like, Eric, I've got this great idea.
No, the proper Christian man will not allow that kind of like like listen, like when we had a panel with hand holding, I was like, whoa, we held hands, holy shit.
and yet Yaira can't swim unless her whole rear is showing. So
Yeah, Rule 34.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of like. Sorry, I'm trying to think of what I can say without breaking an NDA. So we have two artists. They're from Brazil, and I can always tell when I'm looking at their pages because they do quite fantastic butts and boobs, right? and sometimes I have to kind of like slide in there and be like, "That's fantastic, Ash. You got to cover it."
it's just a little.
Just a little bit. Yeah, you got some of that crack showing. You gotta cover it up.
I'm just over here gobsmacked that there's erotica about inanimate objects. I mean, just
And the T-Rexes are bad enough because
yeah, that was bad enough.
that's giving me like CeeLo Green vibes, and that's kind of.
But I mean,
Oh, here's a review for Taken by Tetris Blocks. No. Okay, so
oh god,
that was the review.
that was the review. No,
No.
No. Just no.
no, thank you.
Definitely well thought out review.
It has something in common with my ex.
Oh,
This
my
is one of
God.
those moments where the title is so insane that you're curious to take a look and see if the book matches the insanity. It does. It definitely takes a different type of creativity to come up with something like this. It was insane, but I'll give it credit for making me laugh because it's so wrong.
On so many levels.
Wow. You know,
What the fuck did I just read? That's another one.
just when humanity, you know, I think that there's no more gifts they can give us.
Let's see. TikTok made me
But
do it.
wait,
I had to
there's
see
more.
for myself.
There's probably an erotica about him too, Liz.
Ugh, let's
We are
see.
people.
Oh, the whatchamacallit, the
Billy May got. But wait, there's more.
yeah,
Mr.
Billy Mays, yeah.
Weird Al did a song about
She
Mr.
ShamWow
Trophy.
down her legs slowly.
No. No. No.
Did you hear about the slap chop guy? Yeah, he beat up some hookers. That was exciting.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Slap chop some hookers.
that's right.
Different kind of.
That's
Erotica.
amazing. Thank you for enlightening me to these various topics that I was ignorant on. I feel like I came out of this conversation with a lot.
We've learned.
You're coming out better than when you went in.
You know, I
some-
am. I really am because like I
You're
always like
enriched.
yeah, because like now because sometimes it's like I'll be like that person where like don't be the Tetris block. Don't do that. Like once you go there, I can't help you anymore. You're gone.
Just think, every time we think our lives are rough, we're not as bad as the people who write this stuff. So clearly, we're way
No.
better at handling
I
what's
kind of
what
want
life
to be
brings
like
to us.
This guy isn't very well adjusted, huh? That's the presumption.
Like it would
Maybe
make
he
me
should
feel
get together
better
with
to-
a Clip It guy.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh man, what if it would be like a CrossFit between like Tetris and the Clippy guy? Like
Oh my God.
Does the Clippy
Now
guy
you're
have
just
the Russian
crazy.
accent?
oh, I just hurt myself. I'm sorry.
I feel like there's a lot of hot pockets in a basement, a dark basement somewhere when all this is going on.
You know, I bet there's Hot Pocket erotica too. Let's go take a look.
No!
Oh, is
You
that like
know there
American
is.
Pie? Yeah.
There is.
I don't know what to know.
I would
But I
highly.
kinda do wanna
I'm
know
not
'cause-
clicking on this. You know what? You already showed me the wonderful world of Tetris. We're not going into hot. I'm
I-
closing this tab.
Your search
Forever.
history has seen enough.
I would
let's not-
highly
no.
suggest anyone searching these topics use DuckDuckGo.
Or incognito browser, maybe.
Yeah.
I've accepted that my browser history is pretty bad just because of like the nature of what I have to look up sometimes as a writer. Like if
Right,
I'm
your
not on a
research, yeah.
list, I would be surprised. Like one time I had to like Google like how to break into a house, you know, use tools and all this other stuff. And I watched like videos on how to pick locks and stuff like that. And I was like, man, somebody's probably thinking I'm up to no good and I'm just an author.
I did see one thing where the story was that the internet pairs you with people who match your browser history. So the murder mystery author gets matched with a serial killer. And so they want to know how different deaths would work in their book. So the serial killer's out there putting him into practice to get back to him, tell him, oh yeah, the blood spurt doesn't work quite like that.
Yeah.
Gosh.
It's like a new season of Dexter.
Yeah.
You know, every time I come on here, y'all teach me things, but
I
And
know.
Neil wasn't even
wanna
here this
know.
time.
and that was a new level of education that I did not ask for.
I'm sorry.
I'm not
Well.
sorry.
The world was a lot simpler back in the day before there was the internet. Because while people might still write this kind of stuff, the rest of the world didn't have access to it. So
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
It stayed in
Elle
your
just
mom's
has
basement.
2 words. Scrub daddy.
No, scrub daddy, no. Who's your scrub daddy?
and now you know, and knowing's half the battle. G.I. Joe, that's true. Or
You know
half
there's
naked
G.I. Joe
He-Man
porn.
saying,
We had such a magical time. It was beautiful.
can someone ever explain to me why Prince Adam didn't wear pants in He-Man? I'm just curious. Nobody ever explained that to me.
I wasn't in the writing room for that, so I can't help you.
I don't think anybody really wears pants. I mean, Tila is dressed like a total freaking stripper. Everybody,
Nobody
Yeah.
has like underwear. on?
nobody wears clothes. It must be
I don't
really
remember.
hot in California.
Anne, do you want this?
Well, I think it's very beautiful, but also I think it's your shawl.
No, mine's in the other room. I heard that sounds like a yes. I didn't hear it now.
Well, it is
Chat, what do
very
you think? Should I just give it to Anne?
Give it to her.
That's really
Yeah.
pretty.
All right, cheers.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah.
I did
See,
read
you're
a
gonna be
thing
like,
though that
I brought you this shawl. I go be like, I brought you this pile of holy jeans.
Listen, that's a fair trade, okay?
I did read a thing that they did a study of the boat that was in Gilligan's Island, and the top speed of that boat, it could have only gone about 35 miles. So depending on how powerful the winds of that storm was, they really weren't far from civilization.
Like you could have swum it.
Yeah, and I never understood where if they can make a radio out of a couple coconuts, why couldn't they just patch a hole in the boat? Like, and if it was a 3-hour tour, why did they bring all their belongings with them?
Yeah, the Howells had all their stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All their money, their cash, and all their clothing. Except for the Professor Gilligan and the skipper, because they never changed clothes.
No.
But it was
You're
just
not
like they
supposed to
did
ask
it.
those questions.
I know those things that make you go, but
Just
Yeah.
reminds me of Galaxy Quest. Surely you don't think Gilligan's Island is real? Those poor people.
oh, Galaxy Quest. That was such a good movie.
Look here. Don't be telling me that the Colonel's not real and it wasn't real. I can't.
Colonel's
take
more
that
real
kind
than you
of
had thought.
Oh Lord.
Don't
I
tell
mean,
Joe.
okay.
She likes her KFC.
Actually, no. We eat Popeyes down here, so. I mean, Mr. Clean. That okay. All right. I'm
What?
sure there's Mr. Clean erotica,
Oh,
Yeah, and
Does he use a scrub?
Kyle guy.
but the Colonel,
Not to volunteer too quickly.
he's like 85 and has a little bow tie and it looks like a person
And was married.
Has
His wife did all the cooking.
resemblance to Glenn Beck.
Well, Glenn Beck has a resemblance to him, and I think that's intentional.
he did for a while. He's lost some weight,
He
but
did,
yeah, for
yeah.
a while he was looking like the Colonel. Yeah.
And he's a Mormon, so maybe he's writing the Colonel's.
Oh no. Oh no.
Just saying. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah, no.
it's a big wide world out there that we're not exposed to. Thank God.
Thank God.
Um,
Until exposed by our friends. Thanks.
Y'all are the
Yeah.
gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, we know Popeyes fries the chicken in the same oil as the shrimp.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah,
deal with it.
I can't eat Popeyes. It's gluten.
Amy doesn't actually eat it, but people down there do.
Yeah, we don't have a
For
KFC.
people.
So.
I just want to let everybody know, in case you're worried about this sort of thing, which I kind of am. Apparently, all shrimp is now being injected with the mRNA stuff, and some pork too. But the pork is in unknown quantities. But it's definitely all shrimp. So
Well, that sucks.
yeah, I found this out a couple months ago, and I was like, oh,
It doesn't know.
yeah.
Darn
So
it.
I'm not eating shrimp anymore.
Welcome to being kosher. Might I
Well,
interest you in some
I'm
turkey
sorry.
bacon?
I'm sorry. I just eat bacon. Okay. .com.
I just
I love that plug. Thank you.
Had to put a plug in there for you.
Appreciate it. We got our logo finalized. Big step. Big step.
I had some
Nice.
today.
I'm gonna have some for breakfast tomorrow.
I have some sitting right there.
I still love the thought because bacon.
I gotta eat some beef bacon soon. It's good stuff.
I need to
I have
get
to
beef
find
bacon.
some.
That's the best one.
I'm really looking forward to this podcast. I can't even quantify it.
Beef bacon is amazing.
Cassie has shellfish allergy, so she's prepared.
Oh, there you go. See? No, we don't even have a KFC. We have not had a KFC in forever.
I'm wondering how they're injecting these.
Because when I sent Tina the king cake, and she's like, I don't know
send
what
you
this
a
little
link if
dude
you
is.
want. I
The
have
little-
it bookmarked. I'll send it to you.
Do they have little tiny needles that they?
That's what I'm
Inject-
wondering.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah,
Like-
the shrimp are like this. They're not very big. Like,
Right.
how's
Even the
that-
big
how's that-
ones are not
Yeah.
big enough to inject,
That's scary.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty flipping gross.
When my husband had his doctor's appointment at the VA a couple weeks ago, they asked him about COVID exam or COVID vaccine because we never did, and he goes, "Nope." And the doctor's like, "Sure, I get that." Like he didn't even like he asked because he's required to, but he was just like,
Right.
"Nope." He goes, "Flu vaccine," and my husband's like, "No," because they keep throwing the COVID in the flu vaccine, and he's like, "No, I don't want that one either." But
not necessary.
nope. So
Yeah, no. Popeyes is a big old pile of can't eat it for me.
I like Popeyes. They have good chicken.
Those
It
chicken
smells
sandwiches
good.
are just
I know they're really good.
Yeah, see, so that little man that came in your king cake, Tina, that was the Popeyes man.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his.
She's like, who's this dude that came in the game?
The baby.
No, it's the baby too, but the bakery always sends. There's have like every year they have a couple of different.
I actually have it. Let me get it.
What do they call it? Like just little like things, and it's a memorial. That's not like the right thing, but like commemorative.
Okay, gotcha.
Thing, and it's different, every year. And this year was Popeyes, so she could have got a box of chicken, Al Copeland, and something else. Yeah, there's Al Copeland.
Aw, that's cute.
So Cassie in the chat says RFK Jr. better get on that. Let
Yes.
me tell you, have y'all had the gold Doritos, the sriracha ones?
No.
They're so good. RFK Jr. is gonna, have a hissy fit, but they're amazing.
I did see how Trump signed the executive order to declassify the assassinations and sent the pen to RFK.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Kenny, his brother's grandson, is bitching about it because it means he's going to get a bunch of press if they release the files. It's like, some of your family members were alive when it happened, and they like to know what really happened. Just because you weren't and you're a brat.
We're going to find out if his head really just did that.
Yeah. I have a feeling whatever they release will still be an awfully lot of redacted.
Yeah.
Probably, but it's still,
I don't think it's really going to release what people think it's going to release. I think the paper shredders are going overtime.
Well, unfortunately, Trump can't stop that unless he, locked people out of their offices and
Exactly.
whatnot.
So,
But somebody somewhere knows.
yeah.
But I don't know. I just hope we don't have a bunch of people running out planning their own assassinations, because that would be terrible.
Yeah. The thing is, the terrifying thing is though that they really think they're righteous about this. Like they think they're the good guys. They think they're defeating evil because that's how this has been presented. And it's like, no, you've been brainwashed and you're a fucking lunatic.
Well, yeah, AOC gave some email fundraiser thing about being fascists and Nazis, and I'm like, sweetie, I don't think you understand what those terms mean yet, and you keep throwing them around, and you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And God, I hope she runs for president, because can you imagine her in a debate with JD Vance?
Well, that's just like, that when that insurance guy got shot, they're like, oh no, he got shot. What, how horrible. But in other circumstances, guns are evil and terrible, and we should not be taking innocent lives. Like, well, only the innocent lives you care about,
Right. It's very much a contradiction how they think about that.
So we don't care when cops die. We don't care when insurance guys die. We don't care when babies die. Who else? White men.
Well, here's the thing too. He shot an unarmed man in the back.
Right.
If he was going to try to do this in any kind of, he couldn't do it honorably, but if he was going to try to make himself look like a real tough guy or whatever, he should have gotten the guy's attention and made him face the freaking bullet, and he didn't. He just guy had no chance to defend himself. Not that he could.
And here's the thing. Newsflash, guess what? They're going to replace that guy with another guy who's going to do the same exact thing in the insurance company. So it's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think AOC can spell her own name either. And shoot.
People be crazy.
Indeed.
Crazier than I knew, apparently.
Yeah, well.
Okay. I just found the video. Okay, so it says mRNA vaccines are okay. Well, Democrats first of all voted down a bill that would have forced everything to be labeled if there's mRNA in it, because of course they did.
Of course.
They're entering our food chain in several species. So currently, all farm shrimp. So I guess wild caught is fine, but all farm shrimp are being vaccinated. And currently, pork is an unknown amount, but some of that is being vaccinated. And some of the companies state it. We put the right gene in your livestock vaccine. So they have vaccines going into obviously, but they don't have the data on how much of it's being sold and where and who are the buyers. So this is
Joy.
from John Graff, and he's
So
a
is
board
this-
director. Huh?
Is this shrimp and stuff from outside of America or inside of America?
It doesn't say. It just says Old Farm Shrimp. So I don't know. I just sent the video to Therese.
Okay.
Oh,
'Cause, like,
lovely.
we have this thing here where they have to say that the shrimp and seafood is from Louisiana or not.
Right.
So I just wondered if it's not, if it's outside, then if it's in Louisiana, then it'd be okay.
Mm.
I think the safest thing is to just get the wild caught. or,
Wild
you know,
caught. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame, man. I love shrimp.
Yeah.
Me too.
I had it when I was 8. I do recall that being the only one that I ate that I actually liked.
Well,
It's good with cocktail sauce.
Yes.
Well, they fry it all down here.
Oh, that's true.
Coconut shrimp.
Oh, yes.
But I didn't like crawfish.
shrimp scampi.
And I never had oysters.
I'm not crazy
Oysters,
about
man.
oysters.
You know, me neither. My ex used to love them, and I was like, I would just watch him eat, and I was like, you're sucking down like giant boogers. There's,
That's what it
I don't
looks
get it. And you're
My
paying
mom would
so
make-
much money. You're paying like $2
My mom-
for a giant booger.
My mom used to make oyster stew, which I love, but I wouldn't eat the oysters in it. And neither would she or my sister. So my dad and my brother would eat all the oysters, and we would just eat the broth.
And I don't think I ever ate crab.
Crab. Oh.
But all of that was more because we were poor. Because I didn't join the church till I was like 8. So I could have, but I couldn't have because we
Oh,
were
crab! You
poor.
go catch yourself.
We were poor. Oh, wait, what?
You go catch
Yeah,
the crab
crab.
yourself.
Yeah, you get it yourself if you're in one of those cool places that you can still do that.
Yeah, but that's all. That's a business down here, so you can't just go down and catch crab. You know.
Oh, Maryland, you can.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think so. Anyway.
some of us don't live inland, so we just have to live vicariously and get frozen seafood. Because, now it would help if I did the cuff in the right size needle instead of knitting it half in the wrong size needle because
I
I've
do
got
know how to
change.
I do know how to take the poop tail out. I know how to do that, but
That's important.
I don't know how to do a crawfish. I have no clue.
So Liz, doing anything fun
Yeah.
for your birthday?
This. No, not really.
Veronica.
No, I got sandwiches from one of my favorite places, and my son's coming over with pizza tomorrow, so that's my birthday because I didn't feel like doing anything, and we went out to dinner last weekend to celebrate my son and my husband's birthdays, so we just already kind of did the going out thing. And I have a little chocolate fudge cake waiting for me too after dinner, so that's very exciting
Hey.
Nice.
because it's my birthday. I got to pick out my own cake.
That's
Hell
okay.
yeah.
I have a whole cake to eat too.
See?
He
Sadly,
was like,
mine is
"Hey,
not
you got
king
something
cake.
coming." I'm like, okay, cool. Well, what pack? Okay, well, I figured she's gonna make some yarn. No, chick sends me a cheesecake.
Oh,
Ooh,
now you're
New York
talking.
cheesecake. I'm not a huge cheesecake, but I do like New York style cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
But a gluten-free cheesecake is hard to find. So, well done, my friend. Well done.
And you're not sharing, right, with your
Well, it just
family
so happens
members?
to have fruit on top. So, oh no, Harrison doesn't want it. What a terrible thing. It's so sad.
It's your emotional support cheesecake.
My emotional support cheesecake. Because I was
There
getting
you
these
go.
texts, and it's like FedEx is like, your package from support is coming. I'm like, I don't know. I order so much crap. I don't know what the hell's coming. I mean, it could be anything. And it's just like, it's your emotional support cheesecake.
I literally
Take
looked
that-
up. Go ahead.
Take that over one of those chickens any day.
Yeah, yeah. I still do want to make those. They are cute.
They are.
Oh, chicken, yeah.
Amy, did your prize box show up yet?
Wait, what?
Did your prize box show up yet?
No, but we did have snow for a week.
I mean, that would do it.
No, and I think I'm supposed Lynn, I think, sent me some stuff for Let Them Live, and I haven't got that yet either. So pretty much Monday was no mail because of Martin Luther King, and they finally ran Friday.
Okay.
So we had no mail Monday through Thursday. So
Which reminds me, get your pictures in of your sweaters by the end of the month so that I can send out prices. So
and if you want to play along with our Mardi Gras Mal, we're having a Mardi Gras make along.
What?
that's right.
Knit, crochet, sew,
Oh,
tat,
that's right.
write erotica. I don't care as long as it's purple, green, and
Yeah.
gold.
Don't
And
do
I
that.
don't want to read the erotica.
Don't do that.
King cake erotica.
Oh,
There's
well, wait a
so
minute
many-
now.
I was
So
thinking
many
that
erotica.
There's
too.
a man in there.
Now, wait a minute. That
Better than Hot Pockets. Come on.
I'll allow the king cake. Yeah.
Does a shrug count?
Uh-huh. Oh,
I don't know. Is it
I thought you said adult
shrug?
with sleeves.
I did say adult sweater with sleeves.
Yeah.
An emotional support cookie, but already brushed my teeth. Well, you can always rebrush them.
You can rebrush. Yeah, babe.
You know,
We listen and we do judge, but not about eating cookies.
no, God, no. So
So yes, you have until March 4th to play along with us. There's some cool prizes, and make whatever your little heart desires in purple, green, or gold. Doesn't have to be all three, because let's be real, those three really don't go good together that great unless it's Mardi Gras themed.
it does in Tina's yarn, though.
It does, but it's Mardi Gras intended.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Therese, how are we going to do for Friday? Because the first Friday that we would do would be the 8th, I think.
Right. Okay.
So are we going to skip next Monday and then just do that Friday and the Monday after?
Yeah.
Do you want to do the Monday after Super Bowl? Really?
Oh, maybe not.
Or should we do Monday and then Friday and then
Monday,
skip the Monday
Friday,
after?
and then skip till Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we
Okay,
should
so
skip
we'll
the
be-
Super Bowl Monday.
Yeah. So we'll be here Monday. And then that Friday with Joe Bob. So
And
Friday
Friday.
Mayhem.
And then not Monday.
And everybody's welcome to come unless you're on a trip like Anne. She's still welcome to come, but she won't. That's all.
Yeah, so no
I'm-
knitting wars next
I'm
weekend?
sorry. Yeah, no knitting wars.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright. I'm just trying to remember where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, manage it. I mean, everything.
You can come back here either
Then I
Monday
can
or
come back here,
Friday
'cause
or
I try
both.
to alternate, because I'm,
I know.
just so popular. But
Or both, I don't know what time we'll do the Friday, whichever time Joe wants, usually. So she wasn't in the chat tonight, so I don't know. I can't ask her.
Busy woman.
I know we miss her because Joe is
I
special.
know.
And
That's a word.
I'm sad that she wasn't here for this conversation on the many forms of erotica out there because
I bet they got some down there.
I'm sure she would have had a lot to say about it, and it would have been really funny. And Tina, we're not always like that. We don't always talk about stuff like that.
Okay.
I do.
Unless
Yeah,
Neil's here, and then we talk about stuff like
Don't lie to her.
She believes that 0%.
I know
I
I
didn't-
am.
Okay,
I know what I am.
I'm talking specifically about the weird erotica. We talk about other
No,
stuff all the
we don't
time,
talk about weird
I'm
erotica.
pretty sure I'm the
Yeah.
one that brought that up. So
but- Yeah,
You did because you
So
mentioned the
see?
T-Rex, and then I was like, man, I got the corona. Let's go and see how far this goes.
and then I was like, hey, Clippy and Tetris.
and I read an article about that the other day, but I just kind of skimmed through it because I found it so bizarre that it was like, no, this can't be possibly be real. And then you talked about, I'm like, oh wow, maybe it is the thing.
It's really real.
Does that make sense? Those people who marry, like their cars or trees and stuff, that kind of makes more sense now.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Like
Or the ones
somebody
who-
married your chandelier or something.
What?
You're making my husband laugh.
No.
Well, it's like that
Said
family in the
automotive,
South America
you get a
where
car you can't get rid of because of problem.
Oh, you're married to it.
It said eventually it gets to the point where you walk down the aisle and say, I now pronounce you man and car.
No, but we're talking about there really was a dude that was in love with
Really?
his car. Like he literally kissed and made out with his car.
All right, that's
and other things.
And there was an update. I saw an update like not that long ago about it, and I don't even know why I saw it and where I saw it and what I was looking on, but it was like an update because it was this ugly red Toyota Corolla or something like that. It wasn't even, it's not even like it was your pretty Corvette. I mean,
Hey.
it wasn't even a pretty car.
Reliable, reliable, steady
Good gas
relationship.
mileage.
A
Yeah.
reliable car, yes, but you don't need to like lay on the ground and caress the hood of your Corolla and French kiss it, you know. And so apparently it got in a wreck because I thought they were gonna
Oh,
like do a
no.
follow up. I thought they were gonna do like
Oh.
a follow up. This man's mental health is better. He's moved on. He's I
No, now
was
he's
like,
a widow.
You never
no,
forget your first
he
love.
made a blanket.
Oh,
He made a blanket, yeah, because of the fingering. And he made a blanket with all the pictures of the car, and that's where he sleeps every night on his bed with the pillows, with the like your grandma prints a pillowcase with the grandbaby's picture on it. Yes, his whole blanket and pillowcase was like
Well-
that. And he had a name for it. What was his name? And the car was a boy. What was the name of the car?
Fairly
gay for the car.
He's
Or his
gay for
car
the
was
car.
gay.
What was the name
And
of
it-
the car?
I
It
don't
was
know.
like Chase.
This is like a
or-
story that doesn't end in a bad way.
Craig.
Is that like that guy in South America who's married to the rag doll and they keep having children? And they're more rag dolls?
Okay, but at least there's a doll that looks like a person. This is a car.
Did he pay for the car's reconstructive surgery, or does it just have to live that way?
Right.
No, it's like wrecked in his garage, and he's all sad about it. He just keeps it there, and he like literally talks about it as if it's a widow, and so he still lives apparently alone with the memories.
There's
of his
YouTube
car.
videos.
Give
was
the car
Chase.
he married the
Chase.
dignity of a
It was
burial.
Chase, see?
There's YouTube videos where he talks
See?
about his sex life with his car.
Yes.
Oh my.
But these people think JD Vance is
Since it was
weird.
on like
Come
that,
on.
you remember that TLC show, My Weird Addiction?
Oh.
or-
Yeah.
Oh, My Weird
Yeah.
Obsession. Yes.
yeah, that's what it was on. That's what. It was
Oh,
on.
I didn't see that episode.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
remember the lady that would eat the stuffing out of the mattresses and the pillows?
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah,
the link
yeah.
Yeah.
that-
That's
Oh
what
my
it was
God.
on.
I think that if he's made it to TLC, you should stop.
Yeah.
You would
The
think.
lady that ate her dead fiance's ashes.
Yes, yeah.
That was
Nope,
wild.
Nope.
So I thought this was gonna be like a redemption follow-up, like he's moved on, he has a job, he met a man, woman, whatever. No. He's still longing for Chase.
And I thought the guy who dresses up like a collie, the Japanese guy with his dog suit, was
Oh my
weird.
god.
No,
I
that's
can't
not
wait-
now
I
that's
know
a whole
about this.
sexuality.
Yeah.
I feel so enlightened from today's visit. I always appreciate this time we spend together.
Cue the Carol Burnett song. I'm so glad we had this time, together.
Carol Burnett probably didn't have these storylines in mind, though.
No.
Yeah, people are weird. And, like, used to be those are the kind of people that were shunned and outcast, and now they get TV shows and books, and I just don't understand the change in the world, quite frankly. A little weird there. Not saying, just a little bit.
It's a strange place out there in the world.
I mean, can you imagine their family members? Can you to have people know you're related to the weirdo who's in love with this car?
I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any more family members.
They're all in the witness protection program or something. You're like, nope.
You're like, Bob? We don't know Bob. No, Bob moved to Australia or something. I don't know what happened to Bob.
Sorry, sweetie, your uncle's dead.
Yeah.
No, I saw him on TV. No, that wasn't him.
No, you didn't.
Like,
that's what let's bring back shame.
Not throw money at it and give it a TV
Let's
show.
make America great again and bring back shame.
Yes.
Somebody needs to.
Great again.
Logan. Bring back
I never gave it up.
Well,
I don't think most of us have. Yeah.
No.
Sometimes you need to shame people to get them to understand what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
Is it true that Obama and Jennifer Aniston were having a thing? Like, is that true?
I
Is that-
don't know. I've heard yes, and then I've heard yes, and then also it was just he was going to do a cameo on her TV show. So I don't
That's two
know.
very different things.
I mean, we never knew if like Monica and Clinton did something.
I mean, she
Years
seems very
later.
feminine. She seems very feminine for him, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't hear any of that stuff. I just hear about guys having sex with cars, so I don't know.
Need
I
to
got
switch
nothing.
the station.
I mean,
She doesn't
Sorry.
stoop to the gossip level. Come on.
my news.
Can you
is
imagine? There's like a whole generation of parents who've seen that, and when their kids get their car and they want to name their car, no, you cannot name your car. I just love my car. No, you do not love your car.
Like,
We're not
okay,
going
you-
there.
You like it in a normal way, right?
It's an inanimate object, okay?
I don't know. I will say I did watch something this week that was interesting. If you have Max, there's a show called An Update on My Family, and it's like about the whole mommy vloggers, family vloggers thingy. Because like I just read Sherry Frankie's book, which was pretty good. Which they
Oh my
claim she
God.
didn't. They claim she didn't really write it. They claim like she, she had a writer for her. Well, duh, she probably didn't really write it. She told the stories. Another person jazzed it up a little bit. Duh.
That's what they
But-
do. I mean, come on.
That's what they do. Okay, Michelle Obama wrote her book too. So
While she was
But
Even
they-
Barack didn't write his.
so this is a thing on Max, and it's about the Micah Stauffer story, which I don't know if
Okay.
people know who she is. She's a lady that like they did this whole family vlogger thing, and they adopted a little boy from China who had issues, and basically the little boy disappeared because they gave him back. And
I
or to
remember
another
hearing about that.
Yeah. So, but it's been more recently that like they're finally starting to shame some of this whole family vlogger thingy.
Good.
The Ruby Frankies and the
Good.
and I'm watching it and I'm just like, I am exhausted watching this. Like, I have zero desire to clean my crap up so that y'all think I have a nice, clean, pretty house and only sit here and crochet and lovingly pet my cat. No, it is a dumpster fire.
Not only
That's what
that,
it
it's abuse of
is.
the children because children don't have a
Right.
say.
But that's what I'm like. So they're like, because this happened after my kids were older, so I missed this whole demographic of putting your kids on camera. Like we had mommy forums and we talked but it was private. It was it was usernames and
Right.
it wasn't public, and you didn't go on YouTube and put your kids on YouTube. It was just you kept your kids off of that. So.
And
I
mommy
think
forums are like for support and stuff. It's
Right,
not
it's for
like,
support. Like,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
I'm breastfeeding the sucks, and oh, my kid's 8 weeks old and he does this, blah blah blah. But this whole turning it into like a channel, because
Yeah.
as I'm watching it, my husband was like, "What is this crap?" This is really... I said, "I don't know, dude. My YouTube's on like knitting and anti MLM and true crime, so I don't know what this
Yeah,
is.
me
This
too.
is not my YouTube." Because like they're actually starting to finally make some change of like. And I don't know if and when they'll make the change, but like, it would be great if YouTube could make it to where they actually have to be an adult to consent to have being on,
Yeah.
like we all make our YouTubes and we click yes that we're adults and we're uploading these things and we agree to them and whatever. But your kid can't consent to that, and you're using your kid's image
To make money.
to pimp yourself and your family out. And I mean, and these families are recording like every flipping little. Like I shared stuff about my kids growing up, but it was on private, personal social media accounts. I don't have it's not public, But I kind of wish I hadn't even done that because I have friends that like I've seen her kids, I've met her kids, but I haven't seen her in a really long time, like 10 years. So I don't even know what these kids look like because she never puts them on social media. She hides their face or she takes it, and she's a really good photographer, so she does it that's the way it's really pretty, but I don't know what their faces look like now because they're like almost grown. And she was like, I'm going to protect them from being on the internet because once you
Yeah,
put it
I've
out there,
never
it's
put
out
mine.
there.
I
you know.
very rarely ever put mine on. Even when
But,
they were
like,
little, I
we-
asked them.
It was just new when we were parents. So it's like, oh yeah, you post a picture of your kid in a diaper and you don't think anything of it,
There's pedos out there. That,
Right. But that, when it was first starting, it wasn't a thing. But even still, when you make it private with your friends, it's still susceptible to bad things that can happen. But when you freaking make it public and make it a video, like the fact that what was it somebody said the other day? The fact that they could make TikTok stop for 13 hours,
Mhm.
you know, tells us that they could find the, you know what, if they really
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to, you
Oh, I
know,
know.
so they could stop it if they want, you know, but the amount of parents that are just like, here's my innocent, pretty little blonde girl, and let me show you
Yeah.
where we live and what her bedroom looks like, and make her dance and her ballerina. You know, I'm like, guys, like,
You guys
what are you
never
doing?
watch these stories on true crime where these kids,
Right,
predators, look for that sort of thing? You know?
right.
It's like those decals you put on the back of your car that
Yes.
has the family, and then it
Yes.
has
And their
my
names.
kid is a honor roll student at such and such
Mhm.
a school, and
Mhm.
we go to soccer practice, and we do that. You
Right,
know,
right,
somebody can put 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 together and
Right.
find your kid.
right. Yeah, so I just so it's on it's like every Wednesday or something. I think a new episode comes out. So I'm only like 2 episodes into it, but it is interesting because I didn't know the whole story. Like I kind of cursory heard about it, but I didn't really follow it because who the hell watches that many family vlogs? Like apparently that's a thing.
That's so weird to me. Like, why do you want to spy on somebody else's family? That's just
And
weird to
it's
me.
so
Well,
fake.
it's-
That's the thing. Is
It's a
so
thing. Yeah.
incredibly obviously curated and fake that
Yeah.
it's like
And it gives people, and it's like, it gives people a false sense of importance. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we grew up, especially our generation, was our feelings didn't matter. We just got through life. Like,
Right.
we didn't get special treatment because of our feelings, and nothing
No.
happened because we were upset. It's just
No.
like you dealt with it and you moved on. You
No.
know, and now it's like everybody, oh, you can't take a test because your feelings, or you
Right.
can't do this because your feelings, or you're triggered because of this. Well, I'm not saying bad things don't happen. I'm just saying we were
Right.
expected to
Right.
just accept it and move on. Whereas
Our
now
family didn't know
everything,
where we were for like 12 hours a day.
I know.
You know?
And if my mom had known where we were, she would not have been thrilled.
Right.
But you know, in the housing construction, a couple blocks over, playing in the empty houses with nails and whatnot.
I was looking
But-
up the real erotica with the Burt Reynolds centerfold and Playgirl. Let me
Mhm.
tell you.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I found that.
Yep.
In an abandoned house.
But it's like parents now, they don't parent. Like they don't teach their
Or it's
kids
all
what
show.
to look out
I mean,
for.
I just
Yeah. And it's all this gentle parenting. And I'm sorry, sometimes you got to yell and
yeah.
You know,
can
let your kid
gentle
know what-
parent when you have gentle children. I didn't get none of those. So
no, it's like I watched this cop cam video, and they get called by this crazy older black lady, and they're like, "What's the matter?" She goes, "He said good morning to me." They're like, "Excuse me?" I walk through this parking lot and people talk to me and they say good morning to me and it's wrong and I don't want it. And the cop's like, "Okay, well, what did you say to him? Fuck off." He goes, "Well, that's not really very nice." She goes, "Well, they're harassing me." He's like, "So by saying good morning, they're harassing me." She goes, "You don't understand. This has happened to me in 3 different towns and people are just harassing me and following me around and saying things to me. And he's like, "You mean like good morning?" And she was going absolutely nuts. She must have had some kind of mental issue because she just like could not handle the fact people were casually talking to her. And he's like, and it got to the point where they had to arrest her because she was yelling and screaming and telling the cops off in the middle of the parking lot. And he just couldn't understand it. He goes, "They're harassing you by saying good morning." Well, they didn't really mean it. He goes, "Well, after you told them to fuck off, they didn't."
That's what it sounds
You know?
like.
Yeah, but it was just like, she was just so matter of fact about it. And the cop just like, "I don't know what happened 3 towns over, ma'am. I don't work there."
I will actually have to go soon, for my bedtime has arrived.
Oh, understandable.
That's
Yes,
all
I
right.
have to.
Thank you for coming, though.
I was
I need to
happy
eat dinner
be
too.
here.
And
I
I can
learned
eat
all
cake.
kinds of things. I learned about good mornings and parenting and Tetris erotica. Like I had no
Look.
idea.
Y'all gonna have to step it up next week because the bar
So
has
many
been
things.
set.
Yeah.
So many things I didn't want to hear about, but now I know.
Knowledge
You know-
is power. Just remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, all the old G.I. Joes. The more you know. I don't think that's what G.I. Joe meant, but you know.
It's the clippy one. It's the clippy one for me. That one just keeps taking me out. I just
You know, I get the whole fairy.
because he was annoying as
you know.
frick.
Yeah,
You know?
Clippy was never helpy. he
It was
wouldn't go
never
away.
helpful.
Okay, why you guys have this conversation?
Bye.
I'm going. Goodbye.
Bye. I'm sorry. It just you learn these things on your birthday and you think, wow, I didn't know that a year ago.
Now you're older and wiser. You're
But that
welcome.
just made me think of something.
Um,
Is Anne too young to know Clippy?
I know Clippy. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
just checking. Because sometimes
I
every
know.
now and then you and Tab, I'm like, wait a minute, do you know?
I know. You forget that they're that. Yeah, they don't get a lot of the references.
But I don't remember when
Um,
Clippy, I don't remember when he went away.
Well, it was Microsoft.
Well,
Not too long
I
ago, I don't
I
think.
think Anne gets a lot of references.
That's true. Anne
Yeah,
is,
Anne's an old
is
soul.
our special flower.
She's an old soul.
She is an old soul. But hence why she has to have the shawl wrapped around her looking out the window at the Moors. I mean, come on.
The Moors, they do call to me.
They do call with the tea
Your
and the whisk.
bagpipes.
And it's raining in the background. I mean, come on. I could just paint it in my head. I could see it.
Mm-hmm. We all can. Yeah.
But when did Clippy go away? No, I don't remember.
Mm.
Probably
I
like
don't
10
know.
years ago, maybe.
No, not that recent, huh?
The last 10 years feels like 5 years, I know. And the last 5 years feels like 100.
Yes.
Somehow, if that makes
True.
sense.
Because what are we on now? Now we're on like 11.
Because like 2000 was last year, but also 2020 was 100 years ago. So like,
Windows 7 was perfect. It did not need to be changed.
Windows 7 was the best. Yes.
that was
It
the
was.
best
It was
one.
the best. That's where I stopped updating
Yeah.
on all my
11.
Obviously,
10
Vista.
is I.
Obviously, Vista sucked. That's why they got rid of it and went back to the numbers.
Yeah.
But 7 was really good.
7 was
After
the
that,
best.
after that,
Was
it
he
just kind
on
of went
XP?
downhill.
Was Clippy on? No, he was gone before XP, huh? We
I
need
don't
to
know.
ask
I gotta
Pirate.
look now.
We need to ask Pirate.
Pirate would know.
Pirate would know.
Mhm.
Because I remember for a while you couldn't turn him off, and that was really annoying.
That was
Annoying,
really
yep.
annoying. Yeah.
And it's like, stop
When
it,
did-
Clippy, I know how to type.
2007.
Wow.
Really?
Microsoft removed Clippy from its products in 2007.
damn. That's a
Wow.
long time
Oh,
ago.
but I probably had it for a while longer because, like I said, I didn't upgrade.
Yeah, yeah. So if you're saying-
I was stuck
Yeah.
with that go faster.
So what was the last version that it was on?
Mm.
What version was that in 07?
Let's see. The XP.
Okay, see. Because Vista was after XP, right?
Vista was earlier.
Oh, earlier.
Oh.
Some say that people became more comfortable with computers and didn't want to program holding their hand. Others say Clippy was too invasive and infantilized users.
Oh, how we have come full circle.
Right?
Well,
And
you
now
know,
they put the little chat GPT thing and everything. And I'm like, I don't
mean,
like you
Riley-
anymore than I
Riley
like
was
Clippy.
like,
well, you know, back in our
Riley was
day,
like,
we were told,
you didn't appreciate me when I was there. And now the whole
Clippy said, I wasn't trying to change your words.
I was just
Well,
trying
you
to
know,
help you get better
only
grammar,
fans.
man.
we weren't supposed to get in the car with strangers, and now we call strangers to drive us places. So
That's what I'm
It's a
saying.
different
though.
world.
So if they got rid of Clippy because he was in the way and he was invasive and he was too controlling, and now we can't even write without Chat GPT. I mean, not we.
I've
'cause we're
never
intelligent,
used
but,
it.
you know.
I don't understand. Like, I don't even know where do you go to use Chat GPT. I don't understand it. I will tell you though, it was recently whispered in my ear by a little bird. Apparently, like all of Carlin's articles that she puts up are all written entirely by AI, and it's
That's
been
fine.
Of
verified
course.
by the program. So, yeah.
You know, for
Shocking.
her doctorate she got from the the higher
oh yeah, we never got the
Oh,
reading of that. I paid
Oh,
money
yeah.
for that
very
damn
bright.
thing.
She's not
Wasn't
very,
Pirate gonna read it for us?
Yeah, me and Pyre
Oh,
were
yeah.
supposed to read it.
Yeah.
I'll read it. I think I actually have it still.
Oh, I
can
have
read
it.
I sent it to you. Yeah, I got my yarn, by the way, or I should get it tomorrow.
Good.
That special colorway. You know,
Yeah, Liz.
The-
It was
Still
either Liz or
alive.
I that graciously paid for it.
I did. It was like $40 or something, but it was worth it just to hear Pirate read the intro. But yeah, talk about past
Wow.
craziness.
Yeah, but it's still craziness though with
It's
her.
so crazy. We just ignore it.
Yeah, but clearly that's the kind of person who would write some of those kind of erotica. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Oh
absolutely.
God.
Maybe that's where the hot pocket thing is from. I don't know.
Look, there's always a certifiable amount of evidence of other certain erotica she has written. I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to know.
That's true. That is
Ode
true.
to
Someone.
someone's.
She's
I
under
just
fire right now because he's fighting back.
Oof.
Well, you should
I
just
just think
ignore.
that people are allowed to write articles using Chat GPT, and I'm like, why is this allowed?
Yeah, like we got in trouble for that in school.
You can't. I mean, well, I mean, back when we were in school, it was like plagiarizing from the dictionary or whatever, I guess. But
Right.
to have AI write your entire thing for you is it at best it's lazy, and
Yeah.
at worst it's like you literally have no idea what you're doing, so you're letting
Right.
AI do it for you. And so why should I
Right.
trust anything you say? Just unbelievable. It pisses me off so badly. And then people just eat it up because they don't realize it. And they're like, oh, wow,
Mhm.
this person is so smart. And it's like, no, you're both
They're not.
retarded because, like, you know, they're perpetuating something that they didn't even write. And they're, you know, it's not even plagiarism. Like, they literally didn't even read material and then copy it. They literally
Right.
just went to an app and were like, hey, do this
Well, it's
thing for
lazy.
me.
It's lazy plagiarism because the AI comes from somewhere. You know,
Yeah.
it takes all the whatever from wherever. So it's you can't even. You're so lazy you can't even plagiarize it yourself. You need the robot to do
Yeah.
it for you.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's new levels of lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I just.
we are
If nobody
grossly.
takes the time to write it, you shouldn't take the time to read it.
we are coming dangerously close to Wall-E territory.
Mhm.
And also, a computer cannot create poetry because it cannot commit seppuku. So,
Also can't draw knitting needles to save its life or
It can't.
hands.
Hands.
oh, sorry.
Oh
that's
yeah, I
not-
have 3 hands apparently. Thank you, Grok.
I mean, I like playing with the image ones because I'm no artist, so I am not stealing nothing. But like, I don't know. Like, yeah, but Microsoft has a new one now because it popped up the other day. I was trying to write an email and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa! I know how to write nice ways to go f yourself.
let
Like,
us
stop
do
it.
Let us do it.
And it was like, I was like, what is this thing popping up? And it's like, it's Copilot. They call it now on Microsoft. I'm like, no. There's only one pilot in this ship, and it's not you. No.
Like self-driving
Yeah.
cars. Yeah.
I'm like Googling how do I turn off Microsoft Copilot? Like,
Go away.
Yeah, I'm very
So,
leery
Clippy,
anymore.
Clippy is what Tom at MySpace was. We just didn't appreciate what we had when we had it.
Yeah.
Really and truly.
Yeah.
Tom wouldn't have done us dirty like Zuck did.
No.
Nope.
And Clippy,
Tom is everybody's friend.
Everybody.
exactly. And
Literally
Clippy wouldn't have-
everybody.
He would not
God,
have done us dirty.
I remember MySpace when it was first came out.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like-
I had one totally.
Yeah.
When people, it was the start of the way things are, where you think people around the world care what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, man, you thought long and hard about what your song was
And all your
The-
flair.
that played on
Yeah.
your MySpace.
And who your
But now
top
it's
eight
like
was.
Your top
But now it's
10.
they're like, all these, people who are responsible for the safety of their followers and whatnot. It's like, what are you gonna do?
You bitches better
There-
represent that you in my top 10.
Well, who knows what the internet will be like in a few years,
Oh Lord.
and
I'm scared.
hopefully we won't all have brain chips. So that wouldn't be that good.
No.
No
Just as
Neuralink, please, thank you.
I'm going to go on record again that I am anti-bird flu vaccine and snuffleupagus bird flu vaccine and chicken vaccine and everything else. I will also not be getting the brain chip. So
Yeah, no, thank you very
Well,
much.
any
And I'm
other
not
vote?
putting my bank card in my hand.
by
Yeah.
the way, I went to Whole Foods for the first time in like a really long time. Like when I had to take my kid to the doctor. The palm thing is for real
I'm not doing that.
Wait,
at
what?
Whole Foods.
What
Yeah,
There's
part?
a
people
little-
they put a
Little
chip.
thing next to the little the regular. Because I do the tap to pay. I admit Apple Pay.
Yeah, I do
it's pretty
too.
handy. Okay. There's the and I took a picture of it. I don't know if I deleted it or not, but there's an actual palm thing. Like, so if you have the chip in your hand or your wrist, you
Biometric
can
thing,
pay with
yeah.
your palm
No.
at Whole Foods. I was trying to take a picture of it,
No.
like all subtle, like so the guy wouldn't tell. I was like, because
Well,
I kept hearing people talk about it, and I was like, no, that's not real. That's not a thing. No,
to
that's
to
not a
be
thing.
fair, as a parent, there were times I wish I could have chipped my children so I knew where they were. Not to use them to make payments.
But it
That's
literally
just
said
that's just
pay.
weird.
It says pay with your palm, and you put your palm out, and you can pay at Whole Foods. I was like,
Weird.
This ain't an Australian
what?
car.
That's weird. That's as weird as the weird erotica.
I was like, no.
Sorry.
Weirder than the
no.
weird erotica. Erotica,
Yeah.
that's sex. We know what that is. Chip in your
Yeah.
hand? No.
We don't
No.
know what that
Yeah,
is.
like who controls the chip in your hand? You know, who
John
updates the
Connor.
information?
John
Does
Connor
the-
did not die for us to have palms.
That's right.
Exactly. Whenever you think of the chips in your hand, I just want Michael Biehn as Kyle Reese to swim into your consciousness and be like, what are you doing?
Skynet should not be a thing. I'm just saying.
What happens?
But-
Okay, serious question. You have the chip in your hand, right? But like, so it's got like your bank account information or stuff.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
What happens if you close that account and you have to like update stuff? Like, how do they update it? You have to like.
What if
go-
your card expires and you need a new card?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
how does that work? How do they have to take the chip out and put it back in? Like,
I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't think they think these things through, quite frankly.
mean,
and who has
I
access
know
to
that
your
our
chip?
animals.
Is it your bank? Do you really want your bank
Well,
to
you
have
know, it's
access to a chip in your hand?
It's
No.
probably like our animals because
Your
your
pets,
animals are
yeah.
microchipped. So
not
it
mine.
goes to a database, and like if you don't ever change that information, like if you scan my cat right now, it says St. Tammany Parish Animal Shelter because I'm lazy and I never changed it. So it probably goes to some cloud, and you're supposed to keep track of it and update it and change it and log in. But yeah, what happens if you get hacked? What happens if
I didn't even
all
think
your
of that.
banking account gets hacked, and every time you scan your palm, it's you're sending your money to Pedro in Australia because apparently that's where all the criminals go. Sorry, Joe. But it's
Pedro
like,
in Australia.
I mean, I'm assuming it's the
Is that where we're
same.
sending them?
Pedro could live in Australia. You don't know. Don't be
I
racist.
thought we stopped sending criminals there. I thought that was not a thing
There's
anymore.
not a lot of Hispanic people in Australia. Like it's a
You know
We
what
can
I
change
mean?
that though. We can change that. We'll just send
That's
all the ones we
racist.
have here.
Well, I'm sure Joan will understand what you meant.
But like, yeah.
Restaurants there.
So what happens if you get hacked? What happens? I mean, I'm assuming it updates somewhere in the cloud, just like when you update, your Apple Pay, you don't actually, put your card under there. You just update your information. But I don't know. Is it the same RFID chip that like is in the animals? And
What if you get hit by lightning? Does your chip fry?
Ooh, ouch.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
mean,
These are things
Meg,
people
that's
need to know before they do these kind of things.
Yeah.
There was this one dude on YouTube who put a magnet in his finger,
Mm-hmm.
and he's
Oh,
like, that
yeah.
actually hurt, and I had to take it out. That wasn't a good idea.
Oh, I have a bad magnet story that I will not tell on live. Not me personally, but one I heard
Okay.
that involved a
Well, on
lawsuit and an MRI machine.
Oh,
Ouch.
Oh,
Ouch. I'm
Didn't
just gonna
happen
leave
to
it
me,
at there.
swear.
I
I think I know.
But it
I
involves
think-
America.
I think on that note, we might need to finish up for the night. Thanks you guys for coming and celebrating my birthday
And
and
please don't pay
hanging
with your
out.
mom at Whole Foods.
and now I'm afraid to go to Whole Foods because I don't want to get scanned.
I'm afraid to go because they're expensive. But
That too.
me.
That too. But thank you guys. Go check out Tina's yarn and her stitch markers and get some. It's awesome. And you guys, all of you who are going to the retreat, have safe travels.
Yeah.
Yes, have a great
And-
And buy
time.
my stitch
And send
stoppers to
pictures
save the
and everybody.
babies.
Yeah, and everybody in the chat who's going, you guys have safe travels, and we expect pictures, lots of them,
Yes.
because the rest of us aren't, and
We demand a picture.
we demand
Command.
to be part of your experience.
We want to live
Which we can't be in.
vicariously.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
I wish I was good at
And-
the whole vlogging thing. I'm really not. I should maybe do a little bit of it.
And
Just do
I
a
guess
photo
that's it. Just
or, you
finish
know.
your sweaters, send me pictures either on Instagram or to knitnightpodcast@gmail. Finish up your Knit Long and Prosper.
Mhm.
I gotta
If you're
go do
doing
that.
Tabitha's Winter of Murder, keep watching Murder She Wrote and sending pictures to Instagram of what you're working on. Is there any more? Oh, and the Mardi Gras
Mardi
mail.
Gras.
Mardi Gras.
The Mardi Gras mail.
You got
Keep
plenty of
knitting
time for
your-
that. So
Yeah,
double
keep
dip,
knitting
triple
that kind
dip,
of stuff.
whatever.
Yeah, just do what you got to do.
'Cause
When
we'll
is the
never
Mardi Gras
podcast
one
again,
over?
Probably at the rate we're going. It might be spring before we
When is the Mardi Gras one over?
March 4th is Mardi Gras.
Okay, so that's still another month and a half. So
Yeah, not like
get
last
to it,
year.
people.
Changes every year
Yep.
based
Yep.
on Easter.
That is, and you guys have a good week, and we will see you on Monday.
See you Monday.
Mwah!
Bye.
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 Bye.